Greetings, fellow detectives. Greetings, everyone. Welcome. Welcome. Happy Saturday. This game is awesome. Super excited for this one. Playing Ghost Dogs of Moon Lake today. Easily one of my favorite Nancy Drew games. I think it currently ranks as my second most favorite Nancy Drew game. Hello, Allison! So happy to see you. Happy Saturday. Welcome. Hello, Jessica! I was watching your stream yesterday, but my Wi-Fi crashed. I was very, very sad. Oh, Jessica, I'm sorry. My Wi-Fi has a tendency to do that too. Very often on stream, which is frustrating. So fingers crossed that technology is our friend today. We are going to play Ghost Dogs of Moon Lake. I absolutely love this game. So I think we'll go ahead and get started with a new game. I remember the
Welcome to my latest case, Ghost Dogs of Moon Lake.
The first time I played this game.
To start playing, choose either. Dear Ned, remember Sally McDonald, the woman who took those photos that Dad has up in his office? Well, she just bought a house in Moon Lake, Pennsylvania. A gangster named Mickey Malone built it back in the 20s as his country getaway. We're talking major fixer-upper. Anyway, last night Sally called and she said she desperately needed my detective skills. She refused to say why over the phone. Naturally, I said I'd drive to Moon Lake immediately, but weird things started happening the moment I pulled up. First, this big tree fell down behind my car and has me totally blocked in. And then I discovered that Sally's gone. She left a note that suggested something terrible happens here at night. She's supposed to call me from her car. So here I sit, writing to you while I wait for the phone to ring. It's nighttime, and although part of me is dying to know what frightened Sally away, another part of me is starting to feel a little uneasy. I'll let you know what happens. Ever yours, Nancy.
Oh, I love how ominous that beginning is. A tree fell down and trapped us. We don't even know why we're here. I just love it. Such a good setup. I remember the first time I played this game, I didn't sleep well for 2 nights. Oh my gosh, same, Allison. This game is so scary in the best way. Fun fact, I don't live that far from Moon Lake. That's so cool. Moon Lake, Pennsylvania. It's much prettier in person. So there is actually a Moon Lake in Pennsylvania. That's amazing. I love that. Hi, Hound Dog. So glad you could stop by, even if it's briefly. So nice to see you. Okay, so we are in this beautiful cabin in Moon Lake, Pennsylvania. This wallpaper, though, is so cool. Like, I'm normally not a huge fan of wallpaper, but this is intricate and so cool. So what can we do? Oh, the phone. Yeah, it's not a dreary place. Yeah, I can imagine it would be super beautiful. This kind of environment, this forest near a lake kind of thing, is my absolute favorite kind of place to be.
Hello?
Nancy, hi, it's Sally. We have to talk fast because I'm in my car and my cell phone's running low, so we might get cut off. But did you see my note?
Yes, are you all right?
No, I feel awful bailing on you like that. You must think I'm such a flake.
I'm just worried about you. What's wrong?
I couldn't stand the thought of spending another night there. I knew you were on your way, but it didn't help. I just got too scared.
What's to be scared of? It's so peaceful and quiet here.
Just wait until it gets dark. Then you'll see. What am I saying? Nancy, you shouldn't be there by yourself either. Why don't you just go get in your car and go home? Or drive to Philadelphia. My aunt's got plenty of room.
No way. You've got me so curious, I wouldn't leave even if I could.
What do you mean?
A tree fell down behind my car just as I was driving up to the house. I'm blocked in.
Oh, the dead maple beside the driveway. Oh, they told me it was in danger of falling over when I had the place inspected. I just never got around to doing anything about it. Listen, call M's Emporium. That's a store on the lake. Emily knows everybody. She'll know who to call if she decides to answer her phone.
It's late. Won't the store be closed?
Where's my brain? Okay, look. I just bought a little outboard motorboat. I haven't used it yet, but the guy who put it in for me said it should run just fine. It's tied up at the dock out front. Just get in it and go. Go anywhere. Just get away from the house.
Why? What on earth do you think is gonna happen?
The dogs. Those dogs. Out of nowhere. They're outside howling and snarling. Teeth and claws. Horrible.
Dogs? Hello? Did you say dogs? Hello?
Oh, the suspense is so good. Check out squeaking mice. What on earth is that?
What is that?
It's a ghost. You really like Pennsylvania then? Yeah, I've only ever been to Philadelphia, but I'd love to see the more outer areas of Pennsylvania. That'd be super cool. I grew up in a very forested area when I was young. It was really peaceful. Me too, hound dog. Love how this phone is the same one from Haunted Mansion, but with different buttons. Good spot. Good eye. The biggest problem I have with this game is that some ordinary Joe can't just hop into a motorboat and boat across lakes, right? Nancy's kind of a pro. I remember having to do this the first time, like go outside in the dark after all of the scary things and just not being able to do it.
Something's out there.
Now look what you've done.
Ah!
That was a Strixvaria. At least I think it was. Never know for sure now, will I?
I'm sorry, but you startled me. What are you doing out here?
Birds. I'm trying to look for birds. What are you doing out here?
I'm Nancy Drew. I'm staying in this house, and I heard a lot of weird noises, so I came out here to investigate.
That was me, Miss Nancy Drew, calling in birds. And doing a pretty good job of it, too, till you showed up. Where'd you come from, anyway?
I drove in today from River Heights to visit my friend Sally McDonald.
Now, why would you want to do a thing like that? The Malone house is no place for one young woman, let alone two.
What do you know about the woman living here?
I talked to her a couple of times. But you know, the last time I saw her, she wasn't doing so good. She acted real anxious, scared.
Did she say what was wrong?
The dogs. The dogs of Mickey Malone. Legend goes that when Malone was finally arrested and hauled away, his 4 dogs went running off into the woods and were never seen again. People would just hear them, howling like their hearts were broken every night until one by one, they all died and went silent. But every time someone tries living in the Malone house, back they come.
Are you saying Sally's house is haunted by ghost dogs?
Every night, ever since she moved in, you could hear them howling. And some nights the dogs would appear outside the house, running around, snarling and barking and throwing themselves at the doors and windows. And then, they'd be gone. They're buried in the cemetery just beyond the house, you know. Them and Malone, both.
The dogs would attack her house?
It's like they don't want anybody but Malone living there. I guess they don't know he's dead. And so are they.
Did they ever attack Sally?
She never gave them the chance. After the first attack, she stopped going out at night. Just locked the doors when it got dark and sat tight until morning.
Why haven't the police investigated?
This isn't New York City, Miss Nancy Drew. All they got around here is one officious little park ranger. And all Jeff Akers does is sit around all day trying to figure out how he can get himself transferred out of here to a bigger park.
Do you live close by?
I just come to Moon Lake in the spring to look for birds. Got an observation platform just up the path, kind of my base camp, and I've got a little outboard down there on the lake. Left my car at the big dock up lake. Don't really need it.
Oh my goodness. It's so creepy.
Are those the ghost dogs?
Yes, ma'am. Which is why I think it would be a good idea if I went my merry way and you got yourself back inside that house. Good luck, Miss Nancy Drew.
Back in the house, back in the house. Time to go back in the house. I love how they set this up like a classic campfire ghost story. I'm back in the house. The dogs are howling. Lock the doors, Nancy. Oh my gosh.
This is not good.
Oh, the doorknob jiggling. Oh my gosh. Oh no. Nope. Time for bed. I just love to picture Nancy like running upstairs and hiding under her covers until the morning. And then she wakes up and then there's just this beautiful music playing. It's like all so happy and everything's perfect. No problems whatsoever. I love the vibe of this house. I have dreams of living in such a cute house like this, right on the lake, so zen. Oh, that sounds amazing, Allison. I'd love to go back there one day. Yeah, hound dog. You need permits on top of permits to take a boat onto lakes in Pennsylvania. Nancy Drew is breaking the law once again. She's such an outlaw. Were you very young when first playing this? Yes, I was 11, I think, the first time I played it. So not like super young, but I'm also kind of like a scaredy cat, so yeah. Why would you want to do a thing like that? Me every time people say they want to move to my town. Nancy hears freaking dogs attacking and just says calmly, "This is not good." I'd be screaming. Me too. I would have like put chairs up against the doors. Like this rocking chair, that's going up against the door. And these chairs, yep, going up against the door. Like we are barricading ourselves in here. But now it's morning, and things are safe, and now it's beautiful. I just love the different vibes in this game. Leaves that appear on a fresh spring tree make my birth different from the other three. When swans drift by on a shimmering blue, I'm the one who plays in the summer dew. When autumn's call brings out the deer, it is I who howls on mornings clear. And when winter comes and birds take flight, look to me to sleep through the long gray night. I love that poem. So now that it's daytime, and Nancy has been thoroughly frightened by the dogs, we can actually do some exploring. Get dead tree cut down. Well, it's a little late for that now, Sally, isn't it? Get well water tested ASAP. Cool, that's around the same age I was when I played Haunted Mansion. That freaked me out a ton too. Yeah, same. I think I can't have been much older when I played Haunted Mansion and definitely was freaked out in the best way. Forest trails. Harry thought you could use this map to the cemetery. You'll find lots of bait along the way, especially at night. The cemetery's real hard to find. I got lost a bunch of times. Happy fishing, George. Harry and George. Previous owners, it seems. Anything in the sink? Okay, we can take some gloves. It appears as though the plumbing is not working. There's a woods behind my house, and I lock the doors every night so nothing gets me, dogs or otherwise. Oh my gosh, I would too. I do that anyway. Nancy, I'm really, really sorry, but I just can't face another night here. I'm going to my aunt's in Philadelphia. Doors open, make yourself at home. We'll call you from my car. Sally. My cell phone number is... PPS, please don't hate me. Poor Sally. I mean, I'd be terrified too if I was living here and that was happening every night. I don't think I'd be able to stay either. Okay, what's this? We got this awesome cool clock. Woof. The cute little woofs. So that's something we'll need to figure out. Oh, this music takes me back. Okay.
This doesn't look very safe.
Definitely not safe. So if we walk across that, we'll fall through the floorboards. What else do we have? I love all these built-in cupboards. These are so cool. Vitus, Iggy, Lucy, and Xander. So all the doggos.
It's stuck.
Iggy is stuck,
I need some
though.
sandpaper.
And we need sandpaper to fix it. Lucy and Xander. Those must be the ghost dogs. Malone's dogs. Cool little reading nook. Alright, I think we've explored pretty much everything. Let's maybe give Sally a call. Now that it's the morning. Hopefully she's safely at her aunt's place.
Hello?
Hey, Sally, it's Nancy.
Nancy, did you see them? Did you see the dogs?
Yes, I did, and I can understand why you left. They were pretty frightening. But if it's okay with you, I'd really like to stay and get to the bottom of whatever's going on. That's why you asked me here in the first place, right?
Yes, but Nancy, are you sure?
Positive. Consider Detective Drew officially on the case.
I wish I were even half the trooper you are, Nancy. I have such high hopes for that house. All the beauty there, the wildlife, all the pictures I was going to take. It would break my heart to have to give it up.
I need you to tell me everything you can about those dogs.
They're black and they have yellow glowing eyes and they don't like me one bit.
When's the first time you saw them?
Well, let's see. I heard them the very first night I was here. I heard them almost every night, howling in the distance, but I didn't actually see them until I'd been here about a week. After that, they started appearing pretty much every other night.
When they appeared, did they always do the same thing?
Yes, come to think of it. They always came running up to the house, barking and snarling. They'd lunge at the windows, they'd jump up on the door, they'd run around and bark some more, then they'd run off. What are you getting at?
These attacks seem to involve a lot of choreography, which reinforces my theory that you're not being randomly attacked by a pack of wild dogs, but by dogs who've been trained by someone determined to scare you out of your house at Moon Lake.
Who would want to do that? My closest neighbor lives 2 miles away. My property is surrounded by the state park, but it's off-season, so hardly anybody is in the park. In fact, I bet I talked to a total of 3 people the whole 4 weeks I was at Moon Lake.
I was like 8 or 9 when I first played the Nancy Drew games. That's so cool. Love the old icebox. Wish I could find one and repurpose it for my house. That would be so cool. That awesome, like, vintage style. That'd be so fun.
Which 3 people?
Let's see, the park ranger, I forget his name, kind of a pain in the neck. Emily Griffin, she's the one who owns that store I told you about. And I ran into this bird watcher a couple of times. Had a funny name.
Red Knot. I've run into him too.
Other than people I may have nodded hello to while getting gas or something, I swear those are the only people I've talked to at Moon Lake.
What about River Heights? Can you think of anyone there who'd want you to sell your house at Moon Lake and move back to River Heights?
You mean like an angry ex-boyfriend or something? Nope, I sure can't.
Since I'm going to be staying here a while, is there anything I should know about the place?
Well, let's see. I've got the water turned off because it's well water and it needs to be tested before I can use it for anything. In fact, if you could get that testing done for me, I'd really appreciate it. Oh, and watch where you walk in the living room. Some of the floorboards are so rotten you could fall right through. And I keep hearing these faint squeaks and rustling type noises coming from below the floor. I hope you're not scared of mice.
Well, she isn't in this game, but by the time Trail of the Twister comes around, she will be. I actually really like the clock puzzle. Oh my gosh, me too, Hound Dog. I really love the logic puzzles that are like part of the environment. Those are so fun.
I could really use some sandpaper. Do you have any stashed away somewhere?
Sure don't. Try M's Emporium. That's on the west side of the lake. And brace yourself if you haven't been there yet. The place is something else.
How well do you know the owner?
I feel like I've known her all my life. She's so open and friendly. She likes to make it sound as if Moon Lake used to be a major hangout for criminals and degenerates, which isn't really true and irks some people around here no end. But I figure she's just trying to make a buck.
Thanks so much for joining, Hound Dog. I hope you have a good day at work. Oh, that is such a good question, Luna. I love both coffee and tea. In the morning, I prefer coffee. I have like one big cup. And I got a milk frother for Christmas this year, so I actually can make myself lattes at home, which has like been life-changing. So I have a latte with whole milk every morning, but I do also like it with oat milk or almond milk. So good. And then if I want a warm beverage in the afternoon, I'll always have tea. So like I really like green teas, especially with ginger in them, just because it's so good for digestion and everything. But chamomile is super good. Herbal tea is not really the fruity ones, but more like the really green type ones. That's such a good question.
How do I go about getting your water tested?
Try the ranger station on the east side of the lake. I've been told you can get some kind of kit there.
I'm curious, why did you characterize the park ranger as a pain in the neck?
I left part of a ham sandwich on a picnic table once. Big mistake. From the way he carried on, you'd think I just made the FBI's 10 most wanted list. I don't think he likes me. Emily says it's because I wrecked his dream of becoming super ranger or something when I bought the Malone house instead of the parks department. Me, I think he just basically has a problem relating to people unless they're asking questions or breaking the law.
You can go again next year, Sally. Moon Lake isn't going anywhere. Exactly.
The wall hanging in the living room with a poem on it, and those dog carvings in that cabinet above the sofa. What can you tell me about them?
Aren't they cool? They came with the place. Sold the clock. Apparently, Malone had them custom made when he built the house. In fact, they're all built into the house. They're still there because you can't move them.
Does anything happen when you turn those dog carvings?
Not that I know of. But that clock? One day, I was messing with the hands. You know, trying to get them to work. And all of a sudden, one of the 4 little doors flew open, and instead of a cuckoo, this dog popped out and barked 3 times. It's a doggy clock. That Malone, bad as he was, he sure loved those dogs.
Talk to you later.
Keep me posted.
That is pretty cute. Hi, Afro Gamer Dude. This is one of the best games. I agree. Hands down. Yes, I used to waste so much money on Starbucks before the quarantine, but my boyfriend got me a Keurig latte maker, and it was a game changer. Absolutely. Being able to make, like, lattes and cappuccinos and just fancier drinks from home makes such a world of difference. It's a good investment if you're someone who really likes coffee. All right, so now we get to explore the beautiful outdoors. This is my favorite time of year, too. This is probably, what do you guys think, like October-ish?
Those look too rotten.
Those look too rotten? Well, maybe I want to try them anyway, Nancy. Maybe I like to live on the edge a little bit. Well, maybe not. The leaves are pretty green. So maybe not October. September? There's a little bit of color-ish, sort of, on the far side. I always thought this was more of a fall game. But the leaves are more green than I'm remembering. Okay, so the well clearly is not working.
I need a bucket.
I need a bucket. Well, I have the bucket now, but I don't have functioning water yet, Nancy. Oh, I know. We need to prime the pump, which we have with our water bottle. She said it was off-season, so I'd say in the fall. Yeah, that's kind of what I thought. It must be early fall. Beautiful. Okay.
I don't need water right now.
Well, at least we know it works now. We'll keep the bucket, though. You never know when a good old sturdy bucket will come in handy. In the summer, Pennsylvania is much brighter. That makes sense. All right, so this is the front of the cabin. I just love this. This is so cute. And then down here is this mysterious boat that she was talking about.
The boat's full of water.
But it's full of water. Good thing we have a bucket. And as a reward for having a bucket, we get a screwdriver. Okay, life jacket. Boat is not working.
The spark plug is missing. The spark plug is missing.
Okay, we're missing a spark plug, and these little screws are not in the right place. And I love the, like, warning signs. Basically every warning sign you can have is on here. So death will become anyone who does not properly screw in the screws. Good to know. Oh, this is so pretty. I just love this place. Gotta be one of my favorite environments in the game. What about you guys? What are your favorite game locations? This right here, this scene, this background, has to be one of mine. And then we can go on this little path here. This looks like it must be Red Knot's bird watching platform. Had a funny name. It is kind of a funny name.
This must be Red's observation platform.
Anything up here we can steal? Doesn't look like it. Darn. I was hoping he'd left something behind so I could take it. As Nancy tends to do. Okay, so no problems out here so far. Lots of sticks everywhere. And what do we have over here? Aha, a little storage shed with some fun little knickknacks in it. Gas container. Don't know what that is. Sprays gas or air or something.
A face only a gnome could love.
Random known. Of course, we have Hotchkiss's ski boots and the iron from Message in a Haunted Mansion. We should take that key. Never know when we might need a key. Sally's cabin, Wickford's castle, Rose's mansion, and the Ryokan. PA, yes. Absolutely. Love all those locations. I've been thinking lately, I think I prefer the locations that have like either one big location that you can explore, like the mansion in Haunted Mansion, Wickford Castle.
Oh, the key broke off.
Ramsey Hall. I think those tend to be my favorite mysteries rather than the ones that have a lot of little locations, like Danger by Design, Phantom of Venice. What are some other ones? Ransom of the Seven Ships. And just like the depth of exploration that you get from those bigger locations. This one feels like one big location too. Even though we can go other places, I think it's nicely balanced at least. So that's helpful. Anything else in here? I think we got everything from that box. We have a hammer and nails now, so now we can actually fix the floorboards, but we need more wood. Okay, should we wander into the forest? Here's another piece of wood. Do we need another one? I think we need one more. I might not have grabbed it properly.
Better be careful.
From the pile. We do have a map. So if we go to the right, we might end up in the stone pillar area. There's a couple dead ends if we go to the right, but we can do a little bit of exploring. Why not? We got time. Go on a little hike. Do you know of the interactive DVD game version of Curse of Blackmore Manor? I've heard of that, yeah. It's so funny to me that there's all these random variations of certain Nancy Drew games. Like, there's, I think, a Wii version for White Wolf of Icicle Creek, and it's just so funny. I wonder what the logic behind that was. I'm sure they thought, like, hey, if it's on more platforms, then more people will play it. But I kind of don't think that ended up being the case. Shoo! Harkening back to Secrets Can Kill. Very cool. I love these woods. Brings me back to my childhood. Oh, the bird sounds. Yes. We're starting to get more songbirds back now that the weather is starting to get better. Even though it snowed yesterday, the snow's starting to melt, but my bird feeder has been getting many more visitors. Including squirrels that assault my bird feeder and steal all the bird food. Do you guys have that problem too? I want to buy something to stop the squirrels from eating all the bird food, but they're like $40 on Amazon. It's really expensive to get. It's called a squirrel baffle. Like, what a thing. Move the sticks. Dogs love sticks. The ghost dogs only want sticks. That's a good point, Jessica. That's why they're attacking the house. There's sticks everywhere. Hi, Ray Marie. I think this game takes place in summer because of the heat bugs. Oh, cicadas or locusts sound that's in the background during the day. That's a good point. So maybe it's like late August, early September-ish, like that kind of time of year. I like the games with more locations. One tends to bore me. Sure, that makes sense, Jessica. I totally get that part of it too. Maybe the game says that it's off season for Moon Lake. Summer is in season. Yeah, maybe towards like the very tail end. Yeah, because the sound part makes sense. I totally hear things like cicadas and locusts too. Okay, wait, where am I? So this is the fallen log. Oh, good. Yeah, Nancy's writing down notes for us. Did I go all the way to the end of this with the fallen tree? I don't think I did. This is all the way to the end. Or not. Flat rock? Shoe? Starting to get lost, but that's okay. Again. Might as well just go on a hike. The log is here. So if we go... fallen log, and then the stone pillar. Stone pillar. Oh, we're over here still. Okay, I gotcha. So we want to go this way. Different fallen log. My grandma used to get rid of squirrels on the bird feeder by shooting them. Pennsylvania's a different world. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's, I suppose, one way to do it. I've heard of people oiling... Ooh, pretty cardinal. I love cardinals. I've heard of people oiling the pole so that when the squirrels try to climb up it, they just slide back down. I tried it, and it made the pole stickier. So it actually just made it easier for them to climb up because the oil eventually dried. So disappointing. Didn't work at all. Okay, we want to go this way. Ooh, blue jays. Love blue jays. Okay, so out yellow ribbon. And if we go to the right of the yellow ribbon, we have another little dead end. And then we can go this way. If we go to the right, we'll get some more dead ends. Robins. Classic. There's been some very chubby robins around my house lately, too. Same, my grandparents had a slingshot since they were in town. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. I wasn't allowed outside when Grandma was squirrel hunting. That sounds fair, Jessica. Your grandma sounds pretty fantastic. Okay, orange bird. Yeah, Nancy, that's a robin. Orange bird. Where am I? And why do I keep picking up planks of wood? Okay, yellow ribbon. So we want to go this way. Oh my gosh, Nancy, stop picking up the planks of wood. And then we want to go this way. We want to go left. And then there should be a tree stump. Ooh, that's pretty. Is that a tanager, I think? I think that's a tanager. Blue jays are cool, but they are pigs at the bird feeder. They take the food away from the chickadees. Chickadees are my favorite birds. Oh. I suppose blue jays are kind of big, so they probably would take a lot of the food. There's another obscure Easter egg in this game. Are you going to try and go for it? Is that the one on the phone, Allison? I remember a phone call one, I think. Or it's something in the PDA, if I remember correctly. Like, doesn't she give you a hint? I mean, she does tell us about her interactive. First hole in the floor, met red knot. I totally remember the Easter egg, but I can't quite remember how to get it. Okay, we found the cemetery. This is so creepy. Snooky. Oh, our beloved dog died in 1928. Waldo Matthias, born August 5th, 1876, died May 10th. Oh, there's a last plank of wood. There we go. Piffin Paff, Cedric Cosmo Cranky. All right. Goodness, oh my pearl, oh my pearl. Oh my goodness, marbles. We're so sorry to have lost you. That's sad. Stench. Is that a pet name? Stench. Hello, Demon Slayer. I'm glad you made it too. I love this game so much. It's one that you go into the woods and it tells you who are the first people who won the final scene. I'll look it up for you. Thank you, Allison. I think I accidentally came across it once. Like, I think I randomly stumbled across it once when I was replaying it.
Looks like paw prints.
Oh, I remember seeing these for the first time and being horrified. Like, there's ghost paw prints on his grave, on Mickey Malone's crypt. Like, how creepy. Ugh. And then we have a grave for Vitus. So I have all of their birthdays written down already, but February 8th, 1924, and they all died, quote unquote, died on the same day, January 29th, 1932. Xander, August 16th, 1923. Lucy, April 4th, 1922, and Iggy, November 11th, 1919. So Iggy is the oldest, I think. 1919, 1922, 24, and 23. Yeah, so Vitus was the youngest, and Iggy was the oldest. Wow. This place isn't too bad during the day. I don't think I would visit it at night, but during the day it's not too horrible. All right. Now, I used to remember just from muscle memory how to get out of here. Like, having played the game a bunch of times. Okay, not that way. I think it's to the right. Isn't it to the right by the fallen tree? Cardinal! Cardinals are so cool. So that was not the right way. I'm supposed to go this way past the fallen tree. Aha! Muscle memory wins! When you've played a game so many times that your hand just instinctually knows which way to click. This game terrified me when I was little, but for some reason I always wanted to play it. Exactly. It's one of those ones that, like, is so terrifying, but you just can't look away. It's in the best possible way. I have a very distinct memory of hiding under a blanket, and I had all the lights off, which made it scarier, but that was a lot more fun. And I remember going up to my mom and telling her that I wanted her to stand in the room with me when I went outside at night for the first time. And she was just, like, so not having it. She was, like, rolling her eyes at me, and she just stood in there while I explored at night with this blanket over my head. And she's like, "Do you really need this?" I did. It was scary. And then I got through it, and after that, I was able to play the rest of the game without, like, needing too much assistance, but... Okay, so now the floorboards are okay. Rotten floorboards, watch your step. And this, very clearly, is a secret passageway, which I don't think we can access yet. Very cool. Yeah, it says you can call 555-SOLVE. You get an egg, and there's a few extra scenes in the woods. And if you click on them with the egg, some text messages show up or a clip of the shed exploding. Let's do that. 555-SOLVE. Oh, what is solve? I don't have... Oh, my phone is... I'm using my phone so I can see your guys' comments, so I don't have the numbers for solve. I'll call Bess. If someone can find out the numbers for solve on a phone, that would be fantastic. Whoops, 6, 8. Cardinals were your grandma's favorite bird. That's awesome.
Nancy, how's it going?
Hey, Bess. How'd you know it was me?
Telepathy, of course. Just another of my many talents. You are so full of it. She got caller ID, Nancy. So now, instead of hanging up on the geeks that always call her, she just doesn't answer the phone. Very funny. So what's up?
Believe it or not, on some nights, this house gets attacked by a pack of dogs. Sally's so scared of them, she left me here by myself.
Did you say dogs? She couldn't have, George. Dogs don't attack houses.
They were definitely dogs. They came out of nowhere and started leaping at the windows and scratching at the doors like they wanted to get in.
Maybe that was just their way of being friendly.
These dogs were not friendly, believe me, and they had glowing yellow eyes. A birdwatcher I ran into said they were ghosts.
Ghosts?
The man who built Sally's place on Moon Lake was a gangster. The birdwatcher said that the ghosts of his dogs show up every time someone new tries to live here.
The place is haunted by ghost dogs? Like there's such a thing as ghosts. But it does sound like you've got another mystery on your hands, Detective Drew.
Yeah, isn't that cool, Jessica? And Ned's spells out help, and George's spells out clue.
There's a private cemetery in the woods out back. Malone and his dogs are supposedly buried there.
Creepy.
And there were paw prints in the cemetery. Fresh paw prints.
Are you sure you're going to be all right there by yourself? We'd volunteer to drive out there and keep you company, but unfortunately my car's in the shop, and you know what a scaredy cat George is.
That's okay. There's really no room, and believe me, living conditions here are pretty primitive.
Scaredy cat, huh? You're gonna pay for that remark, dear cousin.
Bye, you guys.
Don't be a stranger.
Take care.
Yeah, isn't that cool, Jessica? I always thought that was fun. So we need to get a spark plug from Red. He's the only one who has it. And we use the screwdriver to fix the boat. So I think we need to go to nighttime now, because we've pretty much explored everything we can see during the day. So let's switch to night, because the bird watcher looks for birds at nighttime, like a normal person. Solve equals 7658. Thank you. Let's do that real quick. Thank you, Ray Marie. Because I only have a Mac, I haven't been able to replay the older games, so I've gotten used to the newer Best George voices from the more recent ones. Hearing the old voices is weird to me. It is very weird, like, especially when you play them in order, how many times their voices change. It's kind of crazy. Okay, so 5, 5, 5, 7, 6, 5, 8. Perfect. Thank you, fellow detective.
Howdy, Solver. Hope you're having fun. I just want to congratulate you for being one of the first people to figure out that Scarlet Hand was my next mystery adventure. For meritorious service and keen sleuthing skills in a Nancy Drew mystery, I hereby award you with this super-duper deluxe Easter egg finder. Wave it around in good health.
Woohoo! We actually get a physical Easter egg. Wave it around in good health. Yeah, and then you can, like, navigate the woods with the egg, and it'll show you weird things, like weird things will happen. Alright, so we will switch to nighttime. So we can go talk to the weirdo.
The moon's so bright, I won't need my flashlight.
That's good. The weirdo bird hunter who looks for birds at night. Like, the only birds you're gonna see are, if you see any, are owls. What other birds would you see at nighttime? Hello, Red.
Well, it's Miss Nancy Drew.
Does that mean you'd like me to call you Mr. Red Knot?
All right, then. Hello, Nancy. Now put a muffler on it, would ya? I just heard a cerulean warbler.
Really? Are they rare?
Something tells me they're gonna be with you around. You didn't come up here to chit-chat, did you?
Do you know much about outboard motors?
Sure do. Only type of motorized vehicle that's allowed on Moon Lake. Heck, if it were up to me, I'd ban them too. Have everybody get around by canoe. Nothing like the threat of physical activity to keep tourists away.
I just got an extreme urge to go kayaking now.
You're not exactly a people person, are you?
I came to see birds, not people. The more people there are in a forest, the fewer birds there are. It's a fact of life. Reason I like to come here is because nobody else does. It's perfect. Not a decent grocery store, restaurant, or motel for miles.
You don't happen to have any spare spark plugs lying around, do you?
What's a pretty young lady like you know about spark plugs?
Enough to know that the engine on Sally's boat is missing one, and that I'm going to be stuck here unless and until I replace it.
I might be able to help you out. After all, I was a Boy Scout. Be prepared.
You mean you have a spark plug I could buy?
Well, just so happens I've got 2 spark plugs right here in my pocket. Question is, if I give you one, what do I get for it? I don't need cash, but maybe you could take a few pictures for me. Know how to use a digital camera?
Gee, I don't know, Red. Pushing buttons is real complicated.
Sure. What would you like me to take pictures of?
Birds, of course. There's a couple of birds I'm supposed to take pictures of for PepSob. That's People for the Preservation and Study of Birds. You can recognize them by their songs, which are on this tape, which you can play on my cassette player, which you're gonna have to get from M's Emporium as soon as you get your boat fixed. Think you can handle that?
Yes.
I know I can.
Here's everything you'll need. M's Emporium is up lake on the west side. Not that I'm trying to get you out of my hair or anything, but try not to come pestering me till you're done, okay? One more thing. You smoke?
Only when I'm on fire.
Oh, you're a spunky one, aren't you? Well, these woods may not look it, but they're tinder dry. One lit match, and the best bird habitat on the East Coast will go up in smoke. So watch what you do. 'Cause if anything like that happens, I won't be looking for birds anymore. I'll be looking for you. Watch yourself out there.
Ah, hi. Hi, Sarah. Welcome. My second favorite game. Mine too. I love this one. Wave it around in good health. Does that mean it'll protect you from the coronavirus? This is the cure that everyone's been looking for. You just need Nancy Drew Easter eggs. You just wave it in the air, and it gives off good vibes. Wow, Red Knot is sexist, right? Like, he just assumes we know nothing about spark plugs. We don't know how to use a digital camera. Nancy's not that simple, Red. Believe it or not, we can figure out how to use a boat and a camera. Okay, we have a spark plug now, but I'm pretty sure we're not supposed to try and fix it at nighttime. That sounds kind of dangerous. So... oh, I love this music. Let's go back to morning. And... hey, what's up? Ranger Red Knot is creepy. He is. Hello, Scanlan. Welcome. Yeah, Red Knot is kind of a weirdo. I love this lake. It's so pretty. I wish the water was moving, but it's still beautiful. All right, so spark plug. And then we have plus, minus, 0, and plus. So I'm assuming that plus means we're up 1. So this upper left one is fine. 0, which would be neutral. Neutral. And then minus, so this one probably goes all the way down. And then, what was this one? Minus. Try it at night anyway. Oh, sorry, Jessica. I missed that comment before switching it to the morning. And then plus. Okay, so I think that's correct now. I love that you have no idea, though, until you start the boat. Okay, are we gonna blow up, or are we good? Yay! We did it! We didn't explode! And across beautiful Moon Lake we go to M's Emporium. That is a shaky foundation. Hello, M.
Hey there! Welcome to M's Emporium. I'm Emily Griffin.
My name's Nancy Drew. I'm staying out at the old Malone place. You know, the house Sally McDonald bought?
Now what's she doing inviting guests out to that old dump?
She's got a little problem she's hoping I can solve. But right now, I need a chainsaw.
A chainsaw?
A tree fell down in the driveway behind my car, and now I'm blocked in.
I'll get Tucker Davis to take care of it. Gotta warn you, though. Tucker tends to do things in his own sweet time. So how come Sally ain't with you?
She couldn't stand the thought of spending another night in that house.
I told her. I said, Sally, that old house is gonna be nothing but trouble. And sure enough, Malone's hounds have come back. Just when we all thought they were finally resting in peace.
Have you ever seen the dogs?
Nope. Don't want to, neither. Just hearing 'em howl's bad enough. Scares the bejeebies out.
My mouse is getting picky. Come on, mouse. Whoa.
When was the last time they appeared?
Seems like they show up every time somebody buys the place. So the last time would have been 10, 15 years ago.
What can you tell me about Red Knot?
The bird watcher. Comes in every so often to stock up on that weirdo food he eats. You know how them tree hugger types are.
It seemed to me that he was more into watching birds than hugging trees.
Yeah, well, whatever. One thing's for sure. He's gonna wind up with a dose of buckshot in his hind end if he keeps tramping through people's yards making noises like he just popped out of a UFO.
Mr. Knott did me a favor, and in return he asked me to pick up a cassette player from you.
Oh, yeah, I got it right here. Thought maybe the old coot had forgotten he left it here.
Well, can I have it? There
What
we go.
else can I do you for?
I need to get the water from Sally's well tested. How would I go about doing that? Do you know?
Just get a water testing kit from the ranger station and follow the directions.
Where's the ranger station?
Just up lake from Sally's on the east side.
A problem with the water.
'Cause it's well water. And seeing as Malone dug that well 80 years ago, what gets pumped out of it could be pretty funky.
Pretty funky. Oh, should I, Jessica? Yeah, I probably should do the deaths, honestly. They're definitely funny to see.
These so-called ghost dogs left very real paw prints.
Oh, no.
I saw some near the cemetery that's by the Malone house. Have you ever been there?
Can't say as I have. Poking around cemeteries ain't exactly a hobby with me.
Cassette player, is this 1973? Right? Like, this game, I think, was it 2002 or 2003? One of the two, but we were definitely past the cassette player point.
Does the name Waldo Matthias mean anything to you?
Can't say as it does.
Where do you find your... Achoo!
Bless you. It's all the dust. Sometimes I think it grows on this stuff.
Some of those old bottles are beautiful. Where'd you get them?
Found 'em. See, back in the days of Prohibition, that old Malone place used to be party central. Only way to get to and from back then was by boat. And when those boats dumped, on account of bad weather or bad driving or the feds suddenly showing up, well, everything from diamond necklaces to full bottles of illegal booze sank to the bottom of the lake.
So it's finders keepers, huh?
That's right. See, recovering objects from the lake bed is illegal. According to Squeaky Wheel Acres, dragging the lake for artifacts was upsetting its delicate eco-balance. So thanks mostly to his constant squawking, the state banned it.
Squeaky Wheel Acres?
Jeff Akers, local park ranger. I keep telling him all this stuff washed up on shore. But does that snobby little stickler for rules believe me?
Sounds like you aren't real fond of Ranger Acres.
Jeff Akers could take all his precious rules and regulations and take a flying. Now, I got nothing against getting more customers in here, mind you. But I kind of like Moon Lake the way it is. Small, quiet, out of the way. But Jeff Akers, why, there's nothing he'd like better than to see all the lake and all the property around it turned into one big, noisy, jam-packed state park.
Why would he want that?
He's the type of guy who likes to boss people around, makes them feel important. So if the park got way bigger and was crawling with tourists, why, instead of giving out maybe one ticket for littering every 2 days, he'd be giving out 12 tickets every 2 hours. He'd be in heaven. Well, hey, I'm sure you got better things to do than getting your ear chewed off by yours truly.
I need to buy something.
You want it? I got it. Long as you pay cash, that is.
Right now, cash is kind of a problem for me. Do you think we could do some kind of trade-out?
You scratch my back, I scratch yours, huh? Seeing as how you're a friend of Sally's, and seeing as how I got some things around here that could use doing, I guess we could work something out. What is it you need?
Do you sell sandpaper by any chance?
I do, but Mr. Birdbrain was in last week and cleaned me out. Said he was tired of that observation platform of his giving him splinters in his hinter regions.
Think I could get some from him?
He's your only hope, but you better ask him for it quick. That deck of his is pretty big, and those squares I sold him are pretty small.
Guess I'll see you later.
Yodelay-hee-hoo!
All those video rentals are posters that we saw in the final scene, including one with Mr. Charmstrong himself. What else do we have in here? This is kind of a cool store. It's got a lot of things. Live bait. My mouse is going nuts. And it's really starting to get frustrating. Ew. They're just worms, Nancy. Nothing wrong with a worm. Buy your fishing license here, Skunk Crossing. Now I'm talking like Emily. Buy a piece of the past. 80 years ago, Moon Lake was crawling with gangsters, flappers, and jazz musicians from the big city. They traveled to and from parties by boat and were so rich that if they accidentally dropped something in the lake, they wouldn't even bother going after it. I mean, would anyone? Actually? Like, if you dropped something in a boat and you were fully clothed, would you jump in to get it? I guess it depends what it is. Each item you see here was fished out of Moon Lake and most likely belonged to some wealthy big shot. Cool. So we got a bunch of things in here from wealthy big shots. Cocoa Kringles, of course. Gotta have some Cocoa Kringles. And I think that's everything we can see now. M. Benson Aviation. Cool. Does a country store in Pennsylvania sell sandpaper? Does the sun come out in the morning? Exactly. I love that. Okay, back in our boat. Let's go over to the ranger station. Ghost Dogs in Moon Lake was released in 2002 by Current Active. Awesome, thank you, Scanlan. So yeah, if it was 2002, then it would, like, definitely we wouldn't need a cassette player. Oh, this is such a perfect little state park office. This is totally what state park offices look like. At least where I'm from.
Hello, can I help you?
Hi, my name's Nancy Drew. I'm visiting Sally McDonald. Are you the park ranger?
Park Ranger Jeff Akers, at your service. Let's see, Sally McDonald is the woman who bought the old Malone place.
Off to dye your hair purple by yourself, Allison? Whoa, good luck. That sounds awesome. I hope it comes out exactly the shade that you're hoping for. That sounds fantastic.
That's her. Unfortunately, she seems to have developed a problem of the canine kind.
Don't tell me she believes all that ghost dog stuff.
Does that mean you don't?
There's always a logical explanation for everything. Whatever's out there, I'm sure they're no more and no less than exactly what they look and sound like. Dogs. Living, breathing, very noisy dogs.
Why do you think dogs would attack Sally's house?
Dogs can be trained to do almost anything.
Any idea what would make a dog's eyes glow yellow?
Something in their diet, maybe? All vitamin or protein.
As a park ranger, don't you want to know for sure what's behind these dog attacks?
Do you always ask this many questions?
Sorry, it's my nature. But would it be okay if I asked a few more?
I'm a very busy man, Miss Drew, but I am here to serve the public.
I think we're annoying Jeff Akers.
Do you have something I could use to test the well water at Sally's?
Sure do. Too. Just pump some water into this vial, return the sample to me, I'll send it off, and in a day or two you'll find out whether or not your water's fit to drink.
Cool.
Does everyone out here have a well?
Everyone who doesn't want to die of thirst does. Hooking up to a municipal water supply is out of the question. Too expensive.
I grew up camping, and every summer my parents and I would do a big trip, and I saw lots of state parks. This game perfectly captured those parks. Makes me want to go camping again, right? Yes, the state park kind of feel here is so good. And then, of course, Nancy can ask, this place isn't exactly your ordinary ranger station, isn't it?
This place isn't exactly your ordinary ranger station, is it?
It's also the Moon Lake Post Office, and it's the unofficial Moon Lake Museum of Factual and Natural History. I've lived here all my life, so I can't help but feel obligated to protect not only the area's flora and fauna, but also its past.
Which is apparently rather colorful.
As a member of the law enforcement community, I prefer to dwell on the positive aspects of history instead of on the activities of a bunch of glorified thugs.
Are we losing things? Oh, did it come back? On my end, it looked like I was losing things. Is the feed going okay for you guys?
So you'd probably like to see the old Malone place torn down and forgotten.
Not necessarily. It's hard to ignore its potential as a tourist attraction. And if that's what it takes to draw more people to Moon Lake, I'm a reasonable man.
As an officer of the law, can you think of anyone who might want to scare Sally off her property?
The woman who owns the shop across the lake? Emily Griffin? I can't prove it, but I'm pretty sure she's been dragging the lake in front of Malone's house for artifacts, which is illegal. It would be a lot easier for her to do her dirty work if nobody was living there.
What do you know about the cemetery behind the Malone house?
People are buried there. Beyond that, what's to know?
Is Malone buried there?
That's the rumor.
The inscription on one of the tombstones reads Waldo Matthias. Does that name ring any bells?
Not in my steeple.
Would it be okay if I looked around?
Please do. And if you have any questions, any more questions, just ask.
Would you mind mailing this letter for me?
Not at all.
Thanks for all your help.
That's why I'm here. Oh, and one last thing. The deer population has boomed this year. So please take precautions if you're cleaning out any area where they may have nested. They can carry some nasty diseases.
Thanks for the tip, Ranger Acres.
Okay, it looks like we had like a little freeze there. I'm hoping things stuck out okay. How old is this tree? Did you know that the growth rings on a tree indicate its age and the environmental conditions in which it grew? This cross-section is a reproduction of a pine tree that was 62 years old when it was cut down. Broad, evenly spaced rings indicate healthy growth, and I think narrow rings, rapid growth begins again, probably due to the removal of neighboring trees. So the closer they are to each other, a prolonged drought in the area causes narrow growth rings. Right, so if the rings are close to each other, it wasn't a good growth year, and if they're far apart, then it was a good growth year. Interesting. Ranger Acres is sassy. He totally is. I love him. It's frozen again, but that could be my Wi-Fi. Oh no. Please don't freeze, game. Come on, internet, you can do it. Okay. Civilian Conservation Corps. President FDR and his idea for having work. Mine keeps freezing and I didn't have that problem yesterday. Maria. Hi, Maria. My Wi-Fi is perfectly fine, but it still freezes from time to time. Darn it. Is it doing it again? These are really cool, all of these artifacts. And then we have this Moon Lake database with facts and everything. So we can read about well water, priming a pump. Basically all the information you need for the game is in here somewhere. No, okay, you keep dropping the occasional word. Okay, yikes. Okay, let me know if it freezes up totally again. I'm hoping it will be okay. And I won't have to restart my internet. Giardiasis, forest fire prevention. Okay, it's fine now. Okay, good. Poisonous plants. All sorts of things. Health and safety tips. There's a nature slideshow. White-tailed deer, peregrine falcon, wood ducks, red squirrel, Moon Lake during fall. That's so pretty. Another spectacular Moon Lake sunset, Moon Lake glowworm, And then back to white-tailed deer. That's super cool. The history of Moon Lake. The Lenape tribe. Or did I say that right? Lenape. I think so. And then early settlers, famous residents. So this is where we have information about Mickey Malone. In the early 20th century, many celebrities from the East Coast spent time here, including Florenz Ziegfeld, famous producer of Broadway musicals and revues. In fact, in 1926, his boat, the Folly King, ran into the rocks at the north end of the lake and capsized. Nobody was hurt, but rather than going to the bother of repairing the boat, Ziegfeld simply left it there. Legend has it that for years a local dog would swim out to the wreck every day and lie on it, barking at everyone who came near. The boat gradually disintegrated until now no trace of it remains. Local legend has it that Ben Franklin spent the summer of 1744 on Moon Lake's south shore. That's cool. Moon Lake had some infamous residents as well. In 1925, at the height of Prohibition, Mickey Malone, a gangster from Philadelphia who got rich smuggling and distributing illegal liquor, built a house on the North Shore at the site of the old Retzky farm. People from up and down the East Coast to attend the parties he threw at Moon Lake. He was convicted of tax evasion in 1933 and sent to prison, where he eventually died. So they referenced this early settlers part. I just looked up Ghost Dogs of Moon Lake game fun fact that this game is 18 years old because it was released on November 1st, 2002. Wow. It's amazing to think that a game like this is 18 years old and still holds up so well. At least I feel like it does. I'm placing tiles in Animal Crossing for paths, and you have to do it by one by one. This is tedious. Oh my gosh, that sounds super tedious. So they tell us about the Lenape tribe, and then, like the rest of Pennsylvania, Moon Lake was very anti-slavery. Prior to the Civil War, the Retzky farm on the north side of the lake was rumored to be part of the Underground Railroad, the secret network of people who would hide slaves fleeing from their owners in the south and help them travel to Canada where they'd be free. Dozens of slaves at a time reportedly sought refuge during the day in the huge cellar of the farmhouse. When night came, they'd resume their perilous journey north. So that's just kind of a really subtle hint that there's probably a secret passageway and probably something really cool in the house, which I love. And then they talk about Moon Lake, the acquisition of land, construction of facilities. There's information on Roman numerals, and then about Jeff Akers. Park Ranger Jeff Akers was born and raised in Tyrone, Pennsylvania. Upon graduation from Norris High School in 1989, he attended Penn State, where he earned a bachelor's degree in park and recreation management. He has been the park ranger at Moon Lake State Park since 1996. Visitors to what he calls the best state park in the country. Very nice. Park regulations. So he has a whole list of regulations. So here's those boating regulations. Swimming regulations, hiking regulations, leash regulations, fishing regulations. Jeff Akers loves his regulations. That's so funny. And then we have this little box.
I probably shouldn't mess around with this without Ranger Akers' permission.
Which has a bunch of cool things in it. Park and wildlife information, poison ivy. Has anyone ever gotten poison ivy before? Despite growing up in a pretty wooded area, I managed to avoid it so far in life. Also have never gotten stung by a bee yet. Definitely had ticks though. Ticks are, ugh, I hate ticks. They're disgusting. Giardiasis. Does not sound fun. Forest fire prevention. There's Mr. Akers. We looked at the tree. Cool fireplace. Hey kids, check out Moon Lake's nature highlights. I think I would be most interested in seeing, otters. That would be cool. It'd be pretty sweet to see an otter. I've seen all of these other ones in the wild before. I mean, I guess I've seen skunks only like on the sides of roads, unfortunately, and not really in the wild, but everything else I've seen in the wild before. Moon Lake has a lot of trout, I guess. And skunks, and mallards, and yellow-bellied flycatchers. more fishing regulations, more boating regulations, and more hiking tips. This makes me really want to go to a state park. All right, I think we have fully explored the ranger station. Now we can go to Sally's house. I've never had to deal with poison ivy, but stinging nettles are nasty. I accidentally walked into a full bush in the dark and my legs were on fire and itchy forever. Ooh, that does not sound pleasant, Demon Slayer. Yikes. Stinging nettles are fairly similar to poison ivy, aren't they? Okay, so we can listen now to the bird calls.
American goldfinch.
American goldfinch.
Northern cardinal. Red-tailed hawk. Western tanager.
A pet skunk? That's so cool, Jessica. Did it have its scent glands removed? Ah, this game. Right, Sarah? Like, everything about it is just so nostalgic and so fantastic. So Nancy already gave some notes for us, or wrote down some notes for us about where we could find certain birds. She didn't write down any over here, but there has to be one over here to the right, doesn't there? Let's go to the right. Maybe we'll find a bird. I hear lots of birds.
Tweet, tweet!
Tweet, tweet. Yes, Nancy, tweet, tweet. If we shout tweet, tweet, we'll find birds. Little known fact about bird watching. Ooh, I hear the goldfinch song, but where is the goldfinch? Aha! Got it. Okay, so we got a picture of the goldfinch.
Here, birdie, birdie, birdie.
Another little known fact, if you say here, birdie, 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 that will help you find birds. Oh, Nancy. Is that one of the weird noises that we get because of the Easter egg that we have? Wee wee. Okay, we've made it to the fallen tree. So if we go past it, we'll hopefully find our cardinal. Yes, cardinal song.
I must have scared it.
Oh, that's one of the ones that flies away. Some of them are too easily spooked. Fallen tree. So if we go this way, oop. Blue jay song. Blue jay song this way? Aha, blue jay. Got it. Everything about it is perfect. I agree, Sarah. It's just so good. Fun fact about red-tailed hawk, its cry is what is normally played over American eagle stuff, because an eagle's actual call is a pretty adorable chirp. That's so funny. It wasn't exactly domesticated. It would come to her house and my grandma would feed it. Oh, so it was like an outdoor cat or something? That's hilarious. Ooh, not fun. I think the most I had to deal with in nature was getting a dragonfly stuck in my hair and a hummingbird ramming into our screen door because I was wearing a red shirt. That's so funny. Hi, Amanda. Welcome. Are you planning on streaming the Haunted Carousel? This was my first game in the series and I enjoy it so much. Yes, after this one, Haunted Carousel will be up next. I've been playing them in order. Okay, we got bluebird, yellowbird. So we need to go to the left of the orange ribbon. I mean, the left of the yellow ribbon to get the orange bird. Robin song. Okay, we've got a picture of a robin. Okay, we've got 3 of the birds. And now if we go this way. Okay, we're back at the yellow ribbon, so we go left. And then we go left again. Tanager song. We have to go forward. Aha! Tanager?
I must have scared it.
Oh, the Tanager's a scaredy one, too. So now we're down to the Tanager and the... Which other one flew away? Was it the Cardinal or the Blue Jay? And then we're still missing the Hawk because we don't find the Hawk here. Keep picking up stuff that I don't want to pick up. Okay, well, I think we've found all of the birds that we can find. So we need to get some advice from Mr. Knott about why we can't find birds. Oh, thank you. Absolutely, Maria. I'm very excited for Haunted Carousel. Wow, that's crazy but cool. It's so cool. I agree. We had a pet raccoon. That's so neat. It was so cute. He used to climb the TV tower by my window to get into my room at night. He was so playful and affectionate. That's adorable. When I was little, we found some orphaned raccoons once because we lived in a pretty forested area. And I remember these people came to our house, I think, to adopt them and raise them until they were old enough to live on their own, or maybe they were just going to end up being pets. But that was pretty cool. Raccoons look super cute. I'm trapped in the woods. Okay, we're out of the woods. Are we out of the woods yet? Are we out of the woods yet? Are we out of the woods yet? Are we out of the woods? Yes, we are out of the woods. Should we maybe give people some calls quick?
Hello?
Hey, Sally, it's Nancy.
Nancy, hi. How's it going?
Where'd all that stuff in your tool shed come from?
It's just junk left behind by previous owners. Came with the house. I've been meaning to take inventory and start pitching stuff, but I didn't. If they ever make procrastination a crime, I'm done for.
Are you aware that you're the proud owner of your very own cemetery?
Yes. When the realtor told me there was a cemetery on the property, I went, ugh. But when I saw how far from the house it was and how small it was, I decided I could live with it, as it were.
Do you know if Malone is really buried there?
The realtor said the cemetery was just a sham, that there's nothing under those tombstones but dirt. But he may have just been saying that so I'd buy the place. The only way to know for sure whether or not Malone is there is to start digging, and I'm certainly not going to do that.
Talk to you later.
Stay in touch.
I wouldn't recommend that anyway, Sally. I don't think you should start digging. Oops, dialed Bess's number wrong. My grandma would feed it cookies sometimes. This happened for like 6 years. That's so funny. I love that. That and just the woods, the dogs, the creepy factor of it, it's all great. I think I really liked Ghost Dogs because Hound of the Baskervilles has been my favorite Holmes mystery for the longest time. That is one of my top 5 Holmes mysteries, for sure. Yeah, this one is fantastic.
Nancy, how's it going?
This caller ID stuff is going to take some getting used to.
I'm here too, Nan. What's going on?
Moon Lake is gorgeous, but it's so remote. The park ranger is the closest thing they have to a sheriff around here.
Park ranger? What's he like? Which, as we all know, is Bess's way of saying, park ranger? Is he cute?
Not true, George. Nancy thinks everybody's cute, so what will be the point? Anyway, Nancy, you were saying?
Well, he seems like an okay guy, but frankly, nobody around here seems to like him very much.
Why's that?
He takes his job very seriously, which tends to rub some people the wrong way.
Did you tell him about the ghost dogs?
He thinks they're just plain old dogs that for some reason like to run around at night scaring people.
And what does Detective Drew think about the dogs?
I think Sally had good reason to be scared of them. I don't blame her for leaving, which leads me to think that maybe that was the whole idea.
Somebody had those dogs attack Sally in order to scare her away?
Why would anybody do that? She was there for less than a month.
You'd have to be a total creep to make enemies that fast. And Sally's one of the nicest people I know.
Ooh, Nancy! Speaking of cute guys, Frank and Joe Hardy called. I filled them in on where you are and what you're doing, and they're dying to hear from you.
great. Did they leave a number?
Their number is 280-555-4865. Bess didn't recognize it when they called and almost didn't answer the phone.
Good thing my cousin here has a memory like an elephant, huh?
What's that supposed to mean?
Call them, Nancy. They're dying to hear from you. But remember, Frank's cute and all that, but George and I want to hear from you too.
Yeah, no fair discussing the case with them from now on and not with us. Promise you'll keep us up to speed?
I promise. This birdwatcher I met has got me taking pictures of birds for some survey he's doing. He's a bit of a grump.
Does he live nearby?
No, he just kind of hangs out in the woods. In fact, I only see him at night.
Interesting. He's in the woods at night. The dogs are in the woods at night.
Could he have had a reason for wanting Sally out of the Malone house?
As far as I know, he and Sally were on good terms. But I also know that Red doesn't seem to have much use for any life form that doesn't molt.
He sounds like my Uncle Zach. He's into birds. Only he doesn't watch them. He hunts them, then shoots them. I never really liked my Uncle Zach.
Did I mention that all the water in Sally's house comes from a well?
Ew, really? Does it taste like rotten eggs?
Not all well water tastes like rotten eggs, Bess.
I don't know if it does or not. Because the well is so old, I need to get the water tested before I drink it.
Good plan. Nothing will wreck your day faster than a nice tall glass of contaminated water.
Bye, you guys.
See ya.
Bye.
I grew up with well water, and I always thought it was so funny how Bess, reacts to it. Like, oh my gosh, well water, ew. That's so funny. Are Bess and George Nancy Frank shippers? It kind of sounds like a demon slayer. Frank is cute and all, but what about Ned? I always squeal when they mention the Hardys. Let's give them a call then, Amanda. 280-555-4865.
Hello?
Hey, Joe. It's Nancy.
Nancy, how's it going? No, wait, don't answer that. Talk about the weather or something.
The weather?
Yeah, that'll give me time to grab the other phone and take it outside. Frank's washing the car. He'll kill me if he misses anything. Here, wait a sec. Take a break, it's Nancy. Hang on, he's putting the hose down. He's drying his hands. He's walking over.
Nancy, hi. What's up? Bess and George say you've got another mystery on your hands.
Or should we say, on your paws.
They told you about the dogs?
We made them tell us everything. Pumped them dry.
As you may have guessed, we're not exactly rolling in detective work here.
So you're living vicariously through me.
It's not the first time, sad to say.
What conclusions have you reached so far, Detective?
If nothing else, those ghost dogs are very well trained. I'm watching to see who owns and/or trains dogs around here.
Good plan. But don't forget, a really smart perpetrator is going to make it look like he or she has no connection to dogs whatsoever.
But then a really, really smart perp might have dogs all over the place and not bother to hide it, because he or she would figure you'd never suspect anyone so obvious.
Emily Griffin doesn't seem to have any dogs.
Uh-oh. Move her up on your suspect list.
I'd move her down.
You know, Joe, something tells me we're not helping.
I'm convinced that someone is using those ghost dogs to scare Sally into abandoning Malone's house. If I can just figure out why, I might be able to figure out who.
Never hurts to look for motive.
Malone and his 4 dogs are supposedly buried in a little cemetery near the house. They've all got headstones inscribed with when they were born and when they died.
That's interesting. Did Malone have family?
Not that I'm aware of.
Then who had the tombstones inscribed?
That's a great question.
That's exactly what I was wondering.
Sounds like this latest puzzle of yours is still missing a few pieces.
Later, guys.
Watch out for dogs.
Just watch out, period.
I love that their voice actors have been pretty consistent throughout the whole series. Like, that's the Joe that still does the voices of Joe to this day, which is pretty amazing. People go into other people's yards around here to go into our woods. That's really funny. Well water is good, right? Can you do the floorboard death if you haven't fixed them already? Oh no, I'm sorry, Jessica, I did already fix them. I'll do all of the deaths from here on out now. I have this, I'm kind of a perfectionist, so I have this weird thing when I play the Nancy Drew games where I like to do them as if I were actually Nancy, and in real life, if Nancy messed up, then she would die and she wouldn't actually solve the mystery. You know what I mean? So when I know what the death scenes are, I try to like avoid them unconsciously, just kind of subconsciously, but I will do them from now on because I know they're actually really fun to watch. Like the play-by-play Joe, right? He's washing his hands, he's drying them off, he's walking over, pumped them dry. That's why they're so great, as well as Bess and George. Exactly. Love them. What was I doing out here? Oh yeah, I was going to do the well test. So I think, do we put the bucket down, put some water in, and fill this up. Okay, and then we bring that to Ranger Acres, but let's maybe do that on our next day because we need to go to nighttime and talk to Red Knot and ask him why we aren't getting birds. I wish there were more Hardy Boys PC games. They're really great characters. It would be really cool, actually, to have games that featured the Hardy Boys solving mysteries. That'd be pretty cool, too. Hello.
You find all the birds?
I found some birds, but no matter how quiet I am, I've been scaring other birds away before I can take their picture. What am I doing wrong?
You're wearing those clothes. That's what you're doing wrong. You need to blend in, like me. Go back over to M's tacky tourist trap and get yourself some camouflage gear. Only sensible thing that money grubber carries.
I'm sorry to keep bugging you, but I need some sandpaper. Emily said you might have some.
Here, take it and scram. I was just about to call in a meadowlark. That was always Ruth's favorite.
Was Ruth your wife?
Good heavens, no. My wife had no patience for birding. Ruth was my dog. Border collie. She'd hear a meadowlark, and by golly, her ears would perk, and she'd cock her head, and she'd just come as close to smiling as ever a dog could.
And then I can squeal when they mention talking to Nancy, exactly.
Do many people around here own dogs?
Not really. Most people don't bother. The place is surrounded by park land, and Ranger Acres just loves enforcing the leash laws. There it is again. Take your sandpaper and go sand something, okay?
And go sand something. Got it, Red. I'll go sand something. Let's go sand something, actually. I was making fun of him,
stuck.
But it actually would be a good thing to do. So we're gonna sand down this edge. So now Iggy will rotate freely. Okay, so for this puzzle, we need this plaque over here with the poem that explains how basically each of the dogs was born in a different season, and then the imagery associated with each of those seasons for each dog. So, if we look here, the back-facing dog is the swan. And then the one way that I like to do this, there are a couple different ways to do this puzzle, but the way I kind of like to do it is write down, so if the dogs are facing back, then that's the swan. And then if they face to the left, then it is the bluebirds. And then, yes, there are a couple of games, but not many more have come, right? And then they face forward. Then we have the deer. The clock has to go like all the way around. Ooh, even the curtains are custom. This cabin is so cool. And then if they face right, little doggies in a line, then there's trees. Okay, so the dogs that are associated with each one. Vitus was born in February, which would be winter, which would be the birds. And Xander is born in August, which would be summer and the swans. Lucy was born in April, which is spring and the trees. And Iggy was born in November, which is autumn and the deer. And then they all died on January 29th, 1932. So Vitus needs to be facing to the left. Xander needs to be facing backwards. Lucy needs to be facing to the right, and Iggy needs to be facing to the front. Ah ha ha! Secret passageway! Yeah! And we already have a flashlight, which is great. Ooh, I love this music. This cool picture. And then we found a cellar. This looks like it goes somewhere. How mysterious. So this is the cellar from the Retsky farm, it sounds like. And if we want to do this, I mean, this is a death sequence, isn't it? Sheik died. Black Tuesday, 14th Street, hotel fire. Uncle Clayton died. MM pinched. So that'd be...
It could be mice making that sound.
It could be mice making that sound. So we need to figure out the day that Mickey Malone was pinched or arrested in order to open that. And then there's not really much else down here. Except this article.
William Akers? I wonder if he's related to Jeff Akers.
The truth about Mickey Malone is told by his most trusted employee, William Akers. Ooh, tea. Mr. Malone has never spent a night in jail, and he never will, said William Akers. And you know why? Because he's just an ordinary Joe trying to run an ordinary business. He said this with such conviction that for a moment this reporter honestly thought Akers was talking about somebody other than Mickey Malone, the notorious gangster. But I was standing on the porch of Malone's getaway home at Moon Lake, having bushwhacked through thick brush from the east side of the lake to avoid detection and probable eviction by his bodyguards. And I was talking to the man who, according to the police, is the only person Malone trusts. I ought to know. I see him every day, Akers went on. He doesn't deserve all the grief you newspaper hacks give him. He's a rich man because his laundromats are fine establishments and people like to wash their clothes there. All this talk about him being a bootlegger is just plain hogwash. When I asked if I could talk to Malone, Akers said Malone was out walking. Like I said, he's an ordinary guy who likes to do ordinary things. When I asked if I could wait for him, he said, "What for? Anything you want to know about Mickey Malone, I can tell you. I've worked for him for 15 years. When I said all I wanted was the truth, he said, then you're in luck, because that's what I just told you. And now I suggest you leave. Mickey's a swell guy, but he's got these 4 big dogs, see? And sometimes they don't mind so good." I took the hint and left, but as I struggled through the brush to get back to my car, I realized something. Akers hadn't told me the truth about what Mickey Malone did, I knew that, but he had told me an important truth when it came to what Mickey Malone was. Someone who had at least one extremely loyal employee. I ask you, good citizens of Philadelphia, how many so-called legitimate businessmen can say the same thing? Tomorrow, reflections on Houdini, a reference back to the final scene. We love that. What's your favorite Nancy Drew game? I love Warnings at Waverly Academy. This is my second favorite one, and then Warnings at Waverly Academy is my first. I just love everything about that game. What's everyone else's favorite games? How is that cellar lit? If there was a light, I can't imagine it would still work. That's a very good point, Demon Slayer. Nancy doesn't need her flashlight anymore with it, which is pretty funny. Can we go on the boat at night? Is that still a death scene that I can do? Let's try it. Will she let me? Nancy might not let me.
It's not safe to take the boat out at night.
Aw, Nancy, you're no fun. Being all safe and everything. It's pretty funny that the ghost dogs haven't come again yet. There was that first night, and then they pretty much leave us alone. But there's always that threat that they could come back. Like, you never know. Very easily could come back. So, we have our well test, and we need to go to Emily and get some camouflage clothing. I don't know that I've ever needed camouflage clothing to see birds. Yours is Blue Moon Canyon. That's awesome, Amanda. I love that game. That one's pretty flawlessly made, too. Do you think they will make any more Nancy Drew games since Midnight in Salem practically killed the franchise? Oh, such a good question, Ray Marie. They said that there's one in production, but I don't know. Like we've heard, oh, cute doggo. You have a dog, you're a suspect. They've said that there's another one in production, but they have given us literally no details on it at all. Nothing about the concept, nothing about when it would potentially be released, so I'm kind of skeptical. I'm hopeful, but I'm skeptical. Danger on Deception Island. Yes, Jessica, that one's fantastic. Warnings at Waverly, but I think Last Train to Blue Moon Canyon is my favorite. Yes, the story in that one is so cool. Followed by this one, Waverly and Crystal Skull. Nice. Yeah, Blue Moon Canyon is awesome. That one is really good.
You're back.
I noticed you have a dog.
That's Yogi, who never goes out unless he's on a leash. Park rules.
Do you have any other dogs?
I hope you're not suggesting I trained Yogi to run around in the middle of the night barking and attacking houses.
No.
I have that water sample. What do I do with it?
Just give it to me, and I'll take care of it.
What's everyone's least favorite game?
I found a newspaper dating back to 1927 in Sally's house. Since you're kind of an expert on the history of Moon Lake, do you mind if I ask you some questions about Mickey Malone?
Not at all.
The article mentioned that a man named William Akers used to work for Malone. Is he a relative of yours?
No. Quite a coincidence, I'll admit, but no. I am in no way related to the head flunky of some two-bit gangster and his gang of thugs.
I found this old picture in Sally's house. Do you know who these people are?
The man is Mickey Malone, I know that. I'm guessing that this is his girlfriend, Vivian Burnett, I think her name was. And judging by the year of that brand new Ford in the background, I'd say the picture was taken in 1928.
You're quite the detective, Jeff Akers.
She was probably as familiar with Malone's house and his dogs as he was. Think there's any chance she's still alive?
Tell you what, Miss Drew. Why don't I go through my files and see what I can dig up on this mystery woman? I'm a busy man, but like I always say, I'm here to serve.
When and why was Malone arrested?
I'm sorry, Miss Drew. As usual, I'm a little pressed for time. If you have more questions, why don't you sit down at the computer and peruse the Moon Lake database of fascinating factoids that I've put together?
What happened to Akers and the rest of Malone's gang after he went to prison?
Fortunately for Moon Lake, they all left and went their separate ways.
I agree, Demon Slayer. I think they should go back, but I kind of doubt that they will too. Nancy, just because someone has a dog doesn't mean they're a suspect. Totally. Shattered Medallion is horrible. I agree. Shattered Medallion so far. Shattered Medallion, Trail of the Twister. I normally love the Nancy Drew games, but those ones just make me just use the hints so I can get through them as fast as possible. Yes. Oh my goodness, yes. Vivian! Can't wait for that call. I love Vivian. There was no redeeming thing in Medallion, Shattered Medallion. Yep, we are all in agreement, it seems.
I've been trying to take pictures of birds for this guy named Red Knot. Ever met him?
Oh yes, the Birdman. I'd stay away from him if I were you.
Why? Is something wrong with him?
He's a fanatic. He's got it in his head that Moon Lake would be the best birdwatching venue in the world except for one thing. Too many people. Believe me, if there was a way to get this park shut down and all the homes on the lake torn down, he'd do it in an instant.
Thanks for all your help.
Always a pleasure.
Yeah, Shattered Medallion was just kind of a convoluted mess. And the disservice that they did to Sunny
I probably shouldn't mess around with this without Ranger Acres' permission.
Is pretty unforgivable. Yeah. I have to go. I'll see you later. Thanks for the stream. Thanks, Jessica. Thanks so much for joining. It was so nice to see you here. I hope you have a good rest of your Saturday. Hello, M.
Howdy, Nancy.
Any word from Tucker, what's his name? He hasn't been by to move that tree yet.
I'll give him another call. But like I said, the man marches to the beat of another drummer. A very slow drummer.
To make a long story short, I need some camouflage gear.
Got some right over here. One size fits all. But I'm running kind of low on bait. So if you go out and get me, say a dozen little critters, I'll give you the camos.
A dozen little critters?
Worms, spiders, beetles, grubs. Anything that wriggles on its belly'll do. Just look under stuff. Rocks, logs, dead leaves. Should be able to find 12 in no time.
Hunting for critters isn't illegal, is it?
Things ain't quite that bad around here. Least not yet. Now, if Jeff Akers' daddy was still around, you might get arrested for cruelty to animals or some such nonsense. Joe Akers used to be the deputy sheriff. Real critter lover, that one was.
Joe Akers is Jeff's father?
That's right.
I found an old newspaper in Sally's house that contained an article on Mickey Malone. It really got my curiosity going. What else can you tell me about him?
Person you should talk to is Jeff Akers. He's got this historical museum thing going out at that ranger station of his.
Guess I'll see you later.
I guess you will.
Yes, Demon Slayer, I totally agree too. Like, George is hardly in it at all. She's just asleep most of the time, even though she's supposed to be Nancy's partner. And Bess just ends up being, like, so one-dimensional. They made her, like, over-the-top boy crazy. I mean, it's kind of an inside joke that she likes cute guys, but they overdid it so much in Shattered Medallion and made that the only thing about her practically. And then they made her, like, really whiny, and it was just so unfortunate. Such a bummer. Okay, we don't have our camouflage gear, but we have a box so we can find little critters. So we look around for critter noises and lift up things where critters could be hiding. So we got 2 worms. And then basically we gotta go hunt a bunch in the woods. Any rock or log is not safe from Nancy's perusal. Beetle! We need a dozen little critters. Ew, that's a big one. Bug? Worm! Worm! Only got 1 there. Okay. And then, how about over here? Any bugs this way? There's a rock here. Bugs? No bugs. Yeah, if we hear the chirping noise, then we know there's bugs. Bugs, bugs everywhere. Bugs, bugs in my hair. I hope not. Worm! Bugs here? No bugs? It's like a scavenger hunt. There's lots of hunting in this game. We look for birds, we look for insects. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, we've got quite a few now. Doing pretty good on our little bug hunt. And I don't like Kapu Cave mostly for character design. I know what you mean, Amanda. Like, what happened to Frank and Joe? Also, the Mapus kind of annoy me. Like, I think Pua Mapu is my least favorite character in the games. Just because literally all she talks about is surfing, and she's not even very, like, nice. She's just kind of, I don't know, kind of frustrating. No bugs here. Can we find 5 bugs at night is the question, because we're up to 7, which is already a pretty good amount of bugs. But it's better to be safe than sorry. Is there a bug in the shoe? That frass puzzle, I couldn't beat that game forever because I couldn't figure it out. Nancy has to deal with bugs a lot, that's a good point. She does have to deal with bugs a lot. Yeah, finding the bugs can be the hardest. For sure. Buggies. Should we try Nancy's strategy for finding birds? Here, buggy, buggy, buggy. Hee hee. I love these fun noises that we're getting because of our Easter egg. Nothing? Anything by the yellow ribbon? And there's like a place by the cemetery. This. But I think there's only bugs here at night. Yeah. Okay. We might have to switch to nighttime. Because we still don't have camouflage, so we can't take any bird pictures. We can give Jeff Akers some time to get us some information about the picture and so on. Oops. Okay. Yeah, let's head to bed and try and find some nighttime critters, shall we? Nighttime critter hunting. PM. Yeah, and we get the fun, like, speakeasy music. Are there any over here? There were some here during the day, but none at night. Okay, this is our first time having to go into the woods at night. I remember having to do this as a kid and being very, very reticent about coming here. Glowworm. Nothing. Anything on this one? No. Where are the glowworms? Oh, there was a rock there. Are there any bugs under it? No. There wasn't any chirping either. I mean, glowworms definitely don't chirp. Two glowworms. Wonderful. So it's kind of funny that the chirping is the hint for finding the glowworms. Because they don't make noise. They're worms. They're little maggot things. Such good music. Funny story, one time my cousin wanted to see a mouse and my aunt called out, "Here, moosey, moosey, moosey." Mousey, 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 and out in front of their car walked a mouse. Pretty great, that's amazing. I read that wrong. Here, moosey, moosey. I meant to say here, mousey, mousey. That's so funny. And a mouse just walked out. That's so great. Your aunt has magical powers. She can summon animals just by calling their names. Can she help me with this mystery? Here, glowworm, glowworm, glowworm. We basically just need to go to the cemetery, I think, at this point. Because I think there will be 2 glowworms in this rock over here. Fingers crossed. Oh no! Oh, okay, I got them both. There's 2. And they're not glowworms, they're crickets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We have a dozen little critters! And we didn't get attacked by the ghost dogs in the woods, which is another plus. That is a positive. I always turn the wrong way at the log. Ooh. We'll get deer in our backyard. That's cool. I miss seeing deer in my backyard. We used to see them all the time growing up, but now that I live like in a bigger metro area, in the suburbs. Definitely don't see them a lot. Moose, sorry, not mouse. Oh, it's her powers of being a Canadian. Moose are spirit animals. Oh my gosh, that's so cool. So it was moose. Okay, that's amazing though. Moose are spirit animals. I love that. I have never gotten to see a moose in the wild, but I think that would be pretty spectacular. They are not nearly as common in Minnesota as they used to be, sadly. Alright, let's bring Em our critters. And get some camouflage, and then we can go check on Jeff Akers. Because he's also been lying to us. Sneaky Jeff Akers. Hi, Em.
Hey, Nancy, how's the bait finding coming along?
12 big, fat, juicy ones, just like you wanted.
Well, now, you done all right for a city gal. Here you go. Hope whatever you're hiding from won't catch you. How you holding up?
Guess I'll see you later.
Yodelah hee-hoo.
That's kind of ominous, considering. Off to Mr. Akers we go. Nancy's fast. Look at that boat zooming across the lake. Zoom. Aw, Yogi's not here. I wanted to say hi to Yogi.
Good news. I have information on your mystery woman.
You are incredible, Ranger Akers. What did you find out?
Her name these days is Vivian Whitmore. She lives in Las Vegas, and her number is 702-555-9137.
Where's Yogi?
In the run out back. Even out of sight, he's under my full control, as park rules require.
Have you gotten the results back from that water sample I left with you?
I meant to call the Department of Health today for a status report, but frankly, I've been way too busy.
Sounds like Moon Lake could use 2 rangers.
If I were in charge of just 10 more acres of parkland, they'd give me an assistant, and I could devote more time to the acquisition of more land and eventually put Moon Lake on the map as one of the biggest, most popular parks in the state.
Why didn't the Parks Department buy the Malone property instead of Sally?
She outbid them, the cheapskates.
Well, if those dogs scare Sally away for good, other people are bound to think twice about buying the place. The bank will lower its price, and you'll have your land.
You're insinuating things again, Miss Drew.
I'm sorry, I really am. It's just that Sally's my friend, and I'd really like to find out why someone's doing this to her.
Tell you what, if you're serious about making amends, there's some boxes by the computer labeled with dates. They're from the estate of a local history buff. She kept everything from newspaper clippings to old photos to recipes for apple crisp. She put everything in envelopes, then numbered them by year using Roman numerals. Just put the envelopes in order by year with the earliest date in front. Oh, and if you're rusty on Roman numerals, there's an entry on them in the computer.
Okay if I read what's in the envelopes?
Don't go reading anything until you're through, or take my word for it, you'll never get finished.
Thanks for all your help.
Always a pleasure.
They are big. People don't realize how big those animals are. I have talked to rangers who are more afraid of moose than bears. Oh my gosh, that makes sense. Yeah, I've seen them in zoos, but I have never gotten to see them just like in the wild. I know some people have like seen them randomly crossing the road or something. But yeah, they are big. I could totally see why they would be more intimidating than a bear. And now I really want apple crisp, so thanks, Jeff Akers, for putting that idea in my head.
Let's see. Jeff said the envelope with the earliest date goes down in the front of each box.
Apple crisp, so good. I make it every year from orchard apples in the fall, and oh my goodness, apple crisp is just fantastic. Nancy rushing to get this mystery solved, but I'm not rusty on my Roman numerals. Exactly. Okay, so 1900. If we look at a refresher, is it in the history of Moon Lake? Roman numerals. The system is, so M is 1,000, D is 500, and C is 100, L is 50. So, if we look at this box, what's the easiest way to do this? So MCM would be 1900. So this would be 1900 by itself. Because the C is immediately before the M. So you would subtract from 2000, 100. And then, so this would be 1925. This one would be 1908. This one would be 1997. So that would go over here. This one would be 1951. So it would stay here. This one, 1939. So that should go over here. 1960. So that one should go over here. 1969. That one should stay here. 1914, I think. Which would put it over here. This one is 1910. This one, 1915. 1917. 1904. Now my mouth's watering. That sounds so good, doesn't it? This sounds amazing right now. 19... X before L, 41, I think. 1911. This one's 1913. Okay, 1900, 1908, 1910, 1911, and 1904. So wait. Like this? 1900, 1904, 1908, 1910, and 1911. And then here we have 1913, 1915? Or is this 1914? X, 1914, 1914, 1915, 1917, and then 1919. Okay. This is 1925. This is 1939, 1932, 1970. This is 1970. So which one of these needs to go over here? 1960? 1960. Oh, wait. 1945. That's 45. And this one needs to go here. Maybe? This requires a lot of concentration. 1925, 1932, 1939, 1941, and 1945. And then these ones, this is quite the number. 1997, I feel like. This is 1951. This is 1970. This is 1969. Like that. 51, 60, 69, 70, and 1997, but I'm still wrong somewhere. Do you guys know which one I have wrong? If you see it, let me know. 1900, 1905, 1908, 1910, 1911, 1913, 1914, 1915, 1917, 19... Isn't it earliest envelope in the front, is it? Maybe that's why. Okay, 4, 5, 8, 11. 13, 14, 15, 17, 19, and then this one, and then this one would switch, and then these ones would switch. 19, 25, 32, 39, 41, 45, 51, 55, 59, 70, and 97. Am I still wrong? I think I switched them all so that the earliest one is in the front. 19. And then 97. What am I missing, guys? Doesn't it tell me when I get them right? I feel like it does. 1905. 1910. Oh.
Now that they're
Aha!
all sorted, I can do some reading.
Those two were mixed up. Okay, now that they're all sorted, I can do some reading. We did it! Thanks for that tip, Demon Slayer. You're right. The earlier ones are supposed to be in the front. So we can read this one. Rumors are flying thick and fast that Mickey Malone, a self-proclaimed captain of industry with far more ties to gamblers and smugglers than to legitimate businessmen, is building a house on the north shore of Moon Lake. March 17th, 1925 is a gangster about to become Moon Lake's newest resident. Yeah, switch those ones. Thank you, Demon Slayer. Oh, it's 69. Oh, yeah, you're right. Yep, LX, 1X, yep. Far left row. Thanks, guys. You're such helpful fellow detectives. The rumor started last June when the 10-acre property on which the house is being built was purchased by Philadelphia Duds and Suds, a company owned by Malone which is widely believed to be merely a front for his criminal undertakings. Secrecy has shrouded the project ever since construction began in October of last year. 4 men and a locked gate block the driveway leading to the site. Unauthorized persons and vehicles are summarily turned away. Day and night security guards patrol the heavily wooded lakefront property. Several large trucks strategically parked obscure any and all views from the site from the water. Even the workmen have been sworn to silence. Mr. Malone could not be reached for comment. So some information about Mickey's house and his operations. Gangster nabbed at Moon Lake residence. So January 29th, 1932 is the day that Mickey was arrested, which is also the day that's written down as the day that the dogs died. Careful to keep his attack dogs at bay. The police have been wise to Malone's criminal activities for years, but 3 previous attempts to incarcerate him failed miserably when Malone's shady associates, through bribes and threats, forced prosecution witnesses to recant their stories. This time, federal agents intend to rely on ledgers and tax returns to prove their case, which is how a lot of mobsters were actually taken down, was through tax evasion. The Bellefonte Star. War takes. Philadelphia mobster dies in Leavenworth. Michael Mickey Malone died yesterday of liver failure in the federal penitentiary at Leavenworth, Kansas at the age of 52. Born in Newark, New Jersey on 1889, Malone owned and operated Philadelphia Duds and Suds, a chain of laundromats and dry cleaners that allowed him to disguise and disperse the money he made as a racketeer. Compared to other gangsters, Malone kept a relatively low profile. His desire for privacy was enforced by 4 large dogs who never left his side. Although he was rumored to be involved in everything from running to gold heists, he never spent a single night in jail until he was arrested in 1932 for tax evasion. He was convicted the following year, sentenced to 8 years in prison, and died just 2 months before he was scheduled to be released. Sad. And then in 97, Dragon Ban is a drag for Pennsylvania treasure hunter. Thar's gold in them thar sandbars. At least that's been the experience of Emily Griffin, owner of M's Emporium on Moon Lake in central Pennsylvania. For the past 10 years, she has been dragging a heavy net back and forth along the bottom of the lake, uncovering and bringing to the surface relics from the 1920s. I've dredged up everything from diamond tiaras to skeleton keys to full bottles of French cognac. It just blows my mind what those people would drop back then and never bother going back for. She was referring to the wealthy guests of gangster Mickey Malone, who built a home on the lake in 1925 and threw large, raucous parties almost every weekend. Because his guests would travel to and from the house by boat, personal items were lost overboard with great frequency. Miss Griffin estimates that she has made close to $20,000 selling her finds to antique hunters and tourists. But last week, her windfall came to an end. The county in which Moon Lake is located passed an ordinance making the recovery of objects from the lakebed illegal. The ban arose from the fact that the bottom of Moon Lake is composed of unusually fine sand. When disturbed, it clouds the water, sometimes for days, posing a threat to the aquatic plants and fish that otherwise thrive there. Park Ranger Jeff Akers, who oversees the state parks surrounding the lake, initiated the ban. The eco-balance of Moon Lake is simply too delicate to ignore, he contends. But Miss Griffin begs to differ. The whole thing's just plumb ridiculous, she says. You know what all that stuff down there is doing right now? It's rotting, rusting away, polluting the water. Interesting argument. Heck, by getting it out of there, I'm doing the county a favor. Unfortunately, the county doesn't see it that way, and it appears that Miss Griffin will have to abandon what had become a pleasantly profitable hobby. Oh, I don't know, she shrugs. I can still sell the stuff that washes up on shore, and that happens, you know, especially after a good storm. So I may be down, she says, eyes twinkling, but I ain't necessarily out. I have a feeling that you are just going to keep doing what you're doing. Wow, that is a lot to drag up, totally. I tend to agree with Jeff Akers. I mean, dragging a giant net on the bottom of a lake would, really upset the eco-balance, even if they didn't have a very sandy bottom. It's pretty funny.
Hello there.
I finished putting all those envelopes in order.
Excellent. Thank you, Miss Drew. And to show my gratitude, I've got something for you.
Chances are it isn't a paycheck.
No, it's an honorary Junior Park Ranger pin. I keep them on hand so I can give them out to children whom I see demonstrating respect for park rules and regulations. A little bit of positive reinforcement. Unfortunately, I don't get to give them out that often.
Oh, gee, thanks, Ranger Akers. Thanks for all your help.
Always a pleasure.
I feel really sad for Ranger Akers there, but it's like you're really gonna give a grown woman a little Moon Ranger pin. It's really sad that he doesn't get to give them to a lot of kids. That would be a pretty bummer thing if that was your job. And that your hope to educate kids and the public about your beautiful state park. But really, Ranger Akers, a pin. So, we have our camouflage. Let's go find the last two birds. So what can we see what we have? Doesn't look like it. Might just have to wander until we hear bird noises.
Where are all the birds?
I mean, I think we already got the one over here. If I remember correctly... That noise is hilarious. Ranger? Nancy's not a kid. Yeah, right. I actually have a Junior Ranger badge from Yellowstone, but I was a kid. So those are actually real things. I thought they just made that up for the game. That's actually really cool, though. Cardinal song. Okay, we got the cardinal, and I think the only one we need to get is the tanager, which I think is this one over by the tree stump. So if we go back this way, past the fallen tree. Wait, not past the fallen tree. Towards the fallen tree. This way. And then at the yellow ribbon, we go This way. I always pick stuff up. Tanager song. Is it over here? Haha. That is cool. I would legitimately want one if I was a kid. Like, that's super fun. So I think that's all the birds we can get. Is there anything else we can do during the day? We can call Vivian. Let's call Vivian once we get out of these woods. Clickety, clickety, click. I'm kind of getting stuck. Log, tree. There we go. Now we're out. These sounds are actually like very therapeutic, listening to this bird sound. Yes, they are real. I have one from Grand Canyon as well. I don't know how many parks do it, but the bigger ones seem to. I had to answer a bunch of trivia and stuff. That's so cool. How fun. Yeah, so maybe it's more of a national park thing, but maybe some state parks do it too. That's awesome. Vivian Whitmore. I love this phone conversation. This phone conversation is pure gold.
If you're selling something, hang up right now. I got an air horn in my hand that could deafen a dinosaur, and I'm not afraid to use it.
Oh, no, please. I'm not selling anything. Believe me. Is this Vivian Whitmore?
Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. You got exactly 5 seconds to state your business.
My name is Nancy Drew. I'm calling from Moon Lake, Pennsylvania. I just wanted to ask you some questions.
Oh, right. The Moon Lake Park Ranger said you might call. But you have to talk fast. An old friend of mine is flying in today from Florida. And when I say old, I mean old, as in 5 years older than I am. Don't bother trying to do the math, sweet stuff. You'll hurt yourself. So, that ranger fella said you found an old picture of me.
That's right. I found it in the cellar of Mickey Malone's old house on Moon Lake.
Moon Lake. Talk about your fond memories. I had a lot of fun there. Although I wasn't anywhere near as wild as most young people were back then. But I think Mickey kind of respected me for that. I was his gal for 5 years. He always kept birch beer on tap at that speakeasy of his just for me.
He had a speakeasy? Where?
It was in the basement, right there at Moon Lake. Feds never knew about it, but everybody who was anybody on the East Coast back then, actors, musicians, bankers, politicians, they knew. You weren't big time unless you'd made at least one trip to Moon Lake Mickey's.
That's weird. I'm staying in his old house on Moon Lake, and I haven't seen any sign of a speakeasy.
Course you haven't. You're not supposed to. Only Mickey and Willie knew how to get into the speakeasy from the house. The rest of us had to go in and out the regular way, through the cemetery.
I agree, Demon Slayer. The cover art for this one is so fantastic.
The cemetery?
There was a lock hidden in one of the tombstones in that little cemetery behind the house. You needed a key to unlock it, and when you did, stairs would appear that led to the speakeasy.
Do you have any idea how to get into Malone's speakeasy from the house?
I sure don't. That saloon was built using 2 main ingredients, concrete and secrecy. Mickey always bragged that nobody could get in unless he wanted them in, and I do believe he was right. But I'll tell you what, if you send me that picture of me and Mickey, I'll send you my key.
The key to the tombstone? You still have it?
It's in the bottom of my jewelry box. I've come this close to throwing it out 100 times, but it's so small and the memories it brings back are so big. Well, I just couldn't. As a joke, Mickey had a tombstone made with the name of this federal agent who had it out for him inscribed on it. That's the one the key unlocks.
Do you know anything about the safe that's in the cellar of his house at Moon Lake?
You must be talking about the wall safe. That was Willie's. By Willie, I mean William Akers, one of the guys who worked for Mickey.
I don't suppose you happen to know the combination?
No one knew the combination, not even Mickey. Mostly because Willie was constantly changing it. He was a little paranoid and superstitious. Well, as I recall, he'd pick the most unlucky number he could think of and use that for the combination. He called it a reverse jinx.
Unlucky number? Like what?
Oh, like the date that something bad happened, like when the stock market crashed, or when somebody died, or the address of a house that caught fire, or the phone number of the police, that sort of thing.
It's been fun talking to you.
23 skidoo, kiddo!
Oh, I love her. Vivian is fantastic. Well, we better send her this picture so that she can send us that key. And then we can get into the speakeasy. How cool is that? I love the reveal of the speakeasy in this game. Like, I so love when you've been playing in a space for the whole time and you thought you'd found everything, and then bam, you uncover a cool new location. So fun. Yogi's back. Hey, cutie. Who's your good doggy? You are.
Hello again, Miss Drew. Am I in for another interrogation?
I'd like to mail this photo to the woman in Las Vegas. Can you do that for me?
As always, I'm here to serve, Miss Drew. Just give it to me and I'll take care of it. I'm sure she'll be very pleased to get this back.
Sorry to bother you again, but did those results from the water test come in yet?
Well, there's something here for you from the State Department of Health.
Initial tests found high levels of arsenic in the sample you sent us.
Not only is the water bad, but it seems like the well may have been contaminated deliberately.
The water in your well is unsafe for any purposes. It is not unusual to find trace amounts of arsenic in wells in your area. The amount in your sample far exceeded standard safety limits.
I wouldn't go jumping to conclusions without proof, Ms. Drew. I'm sure there's a far less melodramatic explanation.
Thanks for all your help.
That's why I'm here.
Maybe for normal people, but in Nancy's experience, poisoned wells sound pretty reasonable. She has a right to be suspicious. Right. So we'll maybe go to bed and give Vivian time to send us that key, and we can go talk to Red about how we have been unable to find a red hawk anywhere. Nighttime. Where could it be? My wife, where could she be? Name that game. Hello, Red.
How's the bird watching coming along?
I just can't seem to find a red-tailed hawk. Any suggestions?
Well, there's gotta be lots around here. You haven't been going around wearing sunglasses and earmuffs, have you?
No, Red, I haven't.
Well, according to my bird map, they like to nest in the big tree that's just to the southwest of the Malone house. I suggest you park yourself nearby and wait. Bound to spot one sooner or later.
See you in a while.
Just remember, eyes open, mouth shut.
You got it, Sylvia. Message in a haunted mansion. Diego Valdez, in air quotes. Random question, but do you guys feel like the first time playing a Nancy Drew game isn't as fun if you know the culprit? Oh, totally. Yeah, I think it's like always a bummer if the culprit ends up, like if you already know in advance. That kind of happened to me when I was playing Alibi in Ashes. I had been looking at all the character reveals and all the mini games, and I felt like I'd already played half of the game by the time it came out. So for all the games after that, I kind of avoided doing that. It's just not as much fun. There's not as much mystery to it. That's a great question, Nadia.
Well, I don't see any hawks, but this is probably the tree Red was talking about. At least it was the tree. That sounded like a hawk.
We found it.
Hey, what is that hawk standing on?
That looks like a speaker.
Whap. Oh no! Oh no! We're on
I'd better
fire.
get out of here. My arms and legs are tied. I can't move.
Well,
At
this is
least I can
problematic.
kick. If I could just get that scythe down, I could use the blade to cut the rope around my wrists and free my hands.
Ah, okay. So if we kick this, it like will do that. But if we gotta get this rag on fire, I think. One. Go up. Okay. Why won't you set on fire? There we go. Now it's set on fire. Okay. And then if we hit that. Why is it not working? Oh, the gnome head. Gnome head. Okay. Now it'll go up. Then it'll roll around. It'll burn the safe. Oh, jeesh. Like fell right on top of us.
I can't just let this thing burn up. I've got to put it out.
Ooh, big fire. Big fire. To the well. Is it full? Good, it's already full. We're saving time. Save the shed. With 1 bucket of water.
What in blazes happened? I saw the fire from my platform and came running. You weren't in there playing with matches, were you?
I was looking at birds, and then I noticed something on the house, and the next thing I knew, I was locked in the tool shed and somebody was setting it on fire.
Whoa, you're not making much sense. Probably smoke inhalation or something. Come talk to me after you've cleaned yourself up and gotten some sleep. I need to tell you something.
Somebody tried to kill you?
I didn't say that.
Somebody knocked you out, locked you in a shed, set it on fire, and you think they were, what, just pulling a prank? Wake up and smell the hostile vibes, Nancy.
I guess it's just hard for me to believe that anybody would consider me to be that big a threat.
I should have never let you stay there by yourself.
Sally, I'm fine. I feel bad about your tool shed, though.
Who cares about the shed? It was full of junk anyway. I'm glad to be rid of it.
That's kind of the way Ranger Akers saw it, too. He showed up right after the birdwatcher did and ticketed me for burning refuse in a manner that endangered park property.
That man is insufferable.
Emily was nice, though. She came by right afterwards and wouldn't leave until I drank the tea she made for me.
Look, Nancy, one more time. If you want to leave, just say the word and I'll come get you.
Sally, one more time. I'm fine.
Well, then promise me you'll be careful, okay?
I promise. I'll be in touch.
You better.
Ooh, theory, you guys. Did Emily not want to leave until we drank the tea because she made it using the well water that we know is poisoned with arsenic? It's a theory. Yeah, this puzzle. Nancy sounds very calm for someone who was almost burned to death. It's so true. Nancy, you are that big of a threat. Exactly. Yeah, Nancy is on to starting to get close to being on to people, certain culprits. It's daytime. Should we go talk to Jeff Akers and Emily? Maybe Vivian sent the key already? Probably not, but I guess I'm not positive about how much time has passed. Yogi's out still?
A package just arrived for you from Las Vegas.
That was quick.
Great. Vivian sent me the key.
I'll dispose of the package. Wouldn't want to break any littering laws, would we?
Thanks for all your help.
Not a problem.
No, Jeff, we wouldn't. We wouldn't want to break the littering laws. We'll maybe go check in with Emily. That's what I kept wondering. It seems plausible. Definitely seems plausible.
Nice Junior Park Ranger pin. You must really be on Akers' good side.
Guess I'll see you later.
I guess you will.
Is Nancy just wearing the pin? That's hilarious. I love that. Okay, so not much to say to them. We have the key. we kind of know what the date should be for the safe in the basement. Should we maybe go open up that safe first? And then head to nighttime and talk to Red? Let's maybe try that. Into our secret passageway. Down to the cellar. So this safe. I won't put on the gloves and everything so we can see the second chance that happens. So Mickey Malone was pinched on...
It's blocked.
Oh, we need to use our pen.
It looks like a tiny hole.
Yes, Nancy, use your pen. Okay, there we go.
What's the combination?
1. Wait. Where's the date? Where did I write it down? Oh, yeah. Okay, so 1. Oops. 1, 2, 9, 1932, 1, 9, 3, and 2. Did it work? Did it work? Apparently not. Is it just 1, 2, 9, 3, 2? 1. Whoops. 2. 9. 3. 2. They're finding out how hard it is to kill Nancy. Exactly. She is not easy to kill. Why is it not working? 12932, isn't it? Yeah, because it's 6 digits. January 29th of 1932. One, 2, 9, 3, 2. Am I doing something wrong? Am I supposed to be wearing the mask? Or am I just doing this earlier than I'm supposed to? Three. Oh, that was a 2. 1. 2. 9. Don't you need to push that big button in the center? Is it? Every time I push the center button, it resets it. But maybe that is what I'm supposed to do. Let's try that. Okay, 1. 2. 9. 3. 2. Or maybe I push it at the end? Why is this not working? 1, 2, 9. Oh. I bet I know why. It's 012932. It has to be 6 numbers. 01, 2, 9, 3, 2. Aha! There it is. Okay, but Nancy's not wearing her protective gear, or is she?
I bet better be careful. I better be careful.
Oh, so it won't even let me do it. Okay, well, I'm wearing my protective gear. This journal is the property of William Akers.
Speakeasy.
Today, Mickey went to prison, but when they were walking him to the paddy wagon, he told me to take care of his dogs, and when the time came to do their tombstones like he told me, then he whispered to me to look under the Victorola in the speakeasy at Moon Lake. He said I'd find a map to the gold he stole 2 years ago. Then they shoved him into the wagon, and that was that. Poor Mickey. How's a guy who's never spent 1 night in jail supposed to spend 8 years in prison? He'll never make it. I think he wants me to have the gold because deep down he knows he's never coming home. You said 6 numbers. I'm only hearing 5. You're right, Amanda. Anyway, I looked under the Victorola and found the map. The problem is there's nothing on it except a bunch of lines and the words "the dogs will lead the way." There's no X marking the spot or directions or nothing. But I need money bad. My wife and baby haven't had anything decent to eat in months, so I'm gonna pack them up and move to Moon Lake permanently so I can spend all my time looking for the gold. Mickey never told me outright that he was the guy who pulled off the hole-in-the-floor gold heist. He always said the less I knew, the healthier I'd stay. But according to the papers, a bunch of gold was stolen off a moving train right under the noses of about a dozen Pinkertons. Mickey must have greased somebody's palms real good and got him to cut a hole in the floor of the boxcar the gold was going to be shipped in. After the gold was loaded, one of his boys crawled under the train and pulled himself into the boxcar. Then when the train was moving, he dropped the gold down the hole onto the tracks. Mickey's boys picked it up and got away clean. Nobody ever suspected Mickey was behind it. So what I'm looking for is 20 gold bars. The paper said altogether they weighed around 600 pounds. The question is, did Mickey hide them in one place or did he spread them around? He must have buried them, but where? I just thought of something. Maybe Mickey trained his dogs to go to the gold if you say the right word. I'm going to try saying gold to them tomorrow and see what happens. LOL, figured it out at the same time. That's awesome. I've said every word I can think of to all the dogs, but they haven't led me anywhere except around in circles. I spent the last month following them around. First Sander, then Vitus, then Lucy. I don't have to follow Iggy because all he does is sleep on the porch. So it looks like I'm gonna have to start digging. I'll dig under the porch first, seeing as that's where Iggy always is. A month ago, I started working as a handyman over in Lewistown to make the ends meet. So even though I stop by Mickey's every day to feed the dogs, I can only look for the gold at night. I dug all around under the porch, but didn't find nothing. I marked the porch.
Joe Akers? Emily said Jeff Akers' father was named Joe. Maybe Jeff is related to William Akers after all.
Ooh, he lied to us. On the map with a big I for Iggy because that's the place he always leads me to. I was so busy digging last Tuesday night that I almost wasn't there when my son was born. We're calling him Joe. His big sister is real happy. She says baby Joe is just like the dolly she's always wanted, but we could never afford to get her. Truth is, we can't really afford Joe neither. I keep writing to Mickey asking him to please tell me straight out where the gold is, but he never writes back. I'll just have to keep digging. Leavenworth Prison, Leavenworth, 48, Kansas. Now I spend all my free time digging in the woods. I dig around everything that could be a landmark. Logs, rocks, trees, stumps, but I never find nothing. Plus I keep getting lost. The paths look so much alike, especially at night, that I spend most of my time trying to figure out where I am. So last Sunday I memorized the way to the cemetery. Even though Mickey never allowed the dogs in the speakeasy or the tunnels, I've been looking there for the gold, because I looked everywhere else I can think of and got nowhere. Last week, I found out that Mickey changed the passcode to the spigots in the speakeasy. This got my hopes up. Because the way I figured it, why would Mickey change the code without telling me unless he was hiding something? But when I finally figured out the new code, I didn't find nothing in the tunnel that opened up that wasn't there before. Why Mickey spent all that money on pictures of those dogs of his, I'll never understand. Probably because it's a clue. I give up. Mickey's dead and so are all his dogs. I'll never find the gold. I got a good job offer over in Harrisburg and I'm gonna take it. Little Joe and Sarah deserve a better life than they've gotten so far, and it's high time Callie got a nice house and a husband who doesn't spend all his time chasing after something he can't find. But I'm leaving this journal here because who knows, maybe someday I'll suddenly remember something Mickey said and it'll finally hit me where he hid the gold. Maybe I'll come back here and find it after all. But in the meantime, I got my family. They're what's important. They're treasure enough. Aww. What a cool story.
The dogs will lead the way. I wonder what that means.
The dogs will lead the way, and then a mark for Iggy. I like the way they use the 20 slang in the journals. Kind of a cool way of talking. Totally Demon Slayer. It's a really nice way to really get the ambiance of this game without badgering us with it. It's so nice. Okay, so we know for sure that there's a speakeasy, and we know that there's a treasure that Mickey Malone hid, and that is very likely why someone is trying to scare Sally away from the property. We also know that Ranger Akers lied to us. What should we do? Should we go confront Ranger Akers about lying? You're a lying liar face, Jeff Akers. It's about time you started to tell us the truth. What do you know? Willie left to take care of his family. Yeah, it's really sweet. I actually really like that story arc that we get from a character that we, like, don't even get to meet ever.
Hello.
What do you know about a man named Joe Akers?
Why do you ask?
I recently found out that William Akers had a son.
All right. William Akers was my grandfather.
And you don't want anyone to know that.
It's not exactly something I'm proud of. My father spent his whole life trying to make people forget what my grandfather was, and trying to make sure people who didn't know what he was never found out. I've been doing the same thing.
What did William Akers do after Malone was arrested?
I'm afraid you're going to have to excuse me, Miss Drew. In case you've forgotten, I'm a very busy man.
But I have questions. Ooh, absolutely, Sylvia. We do know that. Motive.
I apologize for my previous behavior. As a park ranger, I strive to keep my personal feelings in check at all times, and that time I failed. It's my duty as a public servant to try to make it up to you. What would you like to know?
What can you tell me about the gold that Malone supposedly buried on his property?
As far as I know, it doesn't exist. It's just one of those rumors people want to believe, so they do.
Thanks for all your help.
Not a problem.
Unless you're lying to us and you think that the gold is actually real, because you knew about it before anyone else. I love when the mysteries have, like, a variety of very plausible suspects. Like, there's not anyone who's necessarily more guilty looking or sounding than anyone else. No obvious suspects. Love that. Great, big, interesting gold. Absolutely. Hey, I'm back. Hi, Jessica. Welcome back. Okay, we're gonna go to nighttime for Mr. Not. Who basically thinks we're the most incompetent person in the world. Were you playing with matches in the shed? No, Red. We weren't playing with matches in the shed. We're not nearly as dumb as you think we are. Why do you have gas?
Hello there. I owe you an apology. After you came up here looking for those red tails, I gave my map a closer look and realized it was more than 50 years old. Reason you can't find them is probably because their favorite nesting tree is gone. Finding that hawk's gonna be harder than I thought, so why don't you just give me back my camera and I'll take it from here. It didn't get burned up in that fire or anything, did it?
You'll be happy to know that I did get a picture of a red-tailed hawk. So here's your camera back. I got all the birds.
Thank you, Nancy. Nice work. You're a credit to your generation.
Where did those gas cans come from?
I ran out of gas. So much for being prepared, huh? Well, that's all I wanted to tell you. I'm sure you've got places to go, things to see, people to pester.
Mickey Malone supposedly buried a bunch of stolen gold bars on his property way back in the 20s. Did you know that?
Really? That's interesting. I don't much care, but it's interesting.
So you don't know anything about it?
Nope.
See you in a while.
No hurry.
I don't know if I believe you, Red. I took a walk, experienced Pennsylvania. Did this game inspire you, Jessica? To go experience the Pennsylvania wild? I need to go on a walk today, too. It's actually sunny out today. And now that the snow's melted, it would actually be easy to go on a walk. Okay, so that's all Red wanted to tell us. We could go exploring in the cemetery at night. Why not? We're brave, right? We're brave detectives. Except the owl noises are terrifying. Lots of outdoor noises. Hi, I'm back. My internet went down for a bit. Oh, I'm so sorry, Sarah. Fingers crossed that doesn't happen for us. No, my dad made me go outside and stop playing video games. I hear you, Jessica. Waldo Matthias. Okay, so we can't get this to work, even though we have the key, until we go talk to Vivian again. So, now that we know it doesn't work, let's go talk to Vivian. And we're off. Oh, dead end. I swear I know which way to go, except I don't apparently. Oh yeah, log right, tree left. I love these background noises. It's just so real. I'm 21 too. Like, if I want to play games all day, I can. That's true. That is a good point, Jessica. What am I doing? Oh yeah, I was calling Vivian. Two, 555 9137.
Hello?
Is this Vivian?
No, this is your station drop-off. Vivian's fixing snacks in the kitchen.
Oh my gosh, Eustacia Andropov? Harry Houdini's cousin?
Use the air horn like I showed you.
No, Eustacia, wait. It's Nancy Drew. I talked to you on the phone a couple of months ago, just after a friend of mine was kidnapped in St. Louis. I asked you questions about the theater where the kidnapping took place, the Royal Palladium, remember?
Nancy Drew. The Snoopy one. You're not dead yet?
No.
Most people, I talk to them one day, next day they're dead. It is an old age thing.
Oh, stop being so morbid. Here, have some clam dip. Hello? Nancy? So you know Eustacia, huh? Small world. Well, what's up?
William Akers, the guy you call Willie. He wrote about looking for the gold that Malone had supposedly buried on his property at Moon Lake. Do you know anything about that?
The hole in the floor gold heist. Well, I'll be darned.
So it's true? He did bury gold on his property?
Truth be told, when Mickey told me he was the one who pulled off that heist and that he'd buried 20 gold bars at Moon Lake, I didn't believe him. I thought he was making it up. See, Mickey and I were on the outs by then. I thought he was just trying to entice me to come back. But if he told Willie the same thing, maybe there's something to the story after all.
Yes, Sarah, I'm living for this. LOL, the Snoopy one? You are not dead yet? This game and Danger on Deception Island, like, have the best phone conversations.
Do you have any idea where he might have hidden it?
Afraid not. Mickey was so secretive that the men who completed his house at Moon Lake were not only forbidden to talk about the work they'd done, but they were ordered to leave the state for good, or else. But you know, I think he mentioned a map. Yes. He said he was making a treasure map and that... The dogs. Something about those dogs of his.
The dogs will lead the way?
He was always saying that. In fact, I'm pretty sure he had it engraved on his tombstone. Think, Viv, think! He said he was making a treasure map and that he was also having paintings done of each dog. He made it sound like one thing had something to do with the other, like he was giving me some big important clue. But I just figured he was playing games, trying to lure me back with mystery and intrigue. I told him to buzz off. Maybe I shouldn't have.
Did he say what he was going to do with the paintings?
He said he was going to hang them in the speakeasy, and I'm sure that's precisely what he did.
Can you remember anything about Malone's dogs that might suggest where he hid the gold?
I stayed away from his dogs. They made me nervous, always jumping around, barking at this or that. The only one I liked was... what was his name? Iggy! I liked Iggy because he was nice and quiet. He just lay on the porch all day and didn't make a peep.
I got the key you sent me. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. There's just one thing. It doesn't seem to work.
Oh, where is my brain? The key unlocks the letters of the inscription. Just dial in the password and you'll be set.
There's just one more thing.
You don't know the password. I'm sorry. Eustacia and I've been playing canasta all day, and I guess beating her all those times took more out of my brain than I thought.
Next game, I win. Next game, loser pays for pizza.
Well, get out your wallet, sister, because you're going down. So, where were we? Oh yeah, the password. Let's see. It was the name of that federal agent, his first name.
Waldo?
No, not his real first name. What Mickey was always calling him. Baldo. That was it, Baldo. I always thought it was mean to call him that, especially since Mickey was starting to get a little sparse on top himself.
So I just turn the letters until they spell Baldo?
Yes, dear, but like almost everything else in life, it's trickier than it sounds.
Are there any other tricks to getting into the speakeasy that I should know about?
I suppose it's only fair to warn you about the tunnels, and the doors, and the dead ends.
Tunnels? You mean there's more than one way to get to the speakeasy from the cemetery?
Mickey had his men dig a bunch of tunnels between the speakeasy and the cemetery with hidden doors that opened when other doors closed, and lots of dead ends, so that if the speakeasy was ever raided, his guests could hide from the police. I was always terrified of getting lost, but you're a plucky girl. I'm sure you'll be fine.
It's been fun talking to you.
Anytime.
I love them so much. Next game, I win. Next game, loser pays for pizza. You bring it on, sister. Crazy old ladies are the best. I agree, Demon Slayer. And Nancy totally would, like, have the most ridiculous will. It'd be amazing. Oh, I agree with that too, Sarah. Because, like, if you can just call from wherever, it's kind of, I don't know, it takes some of the fun out of the phone conversations and some of the difficulty out of it. So we need to make the tombstone say Baldo. Baldo, Matthias, instead of Waldo. And like Vivian said, it's not as easy as it may seem. Oops. Especially if you can't navigate through the woods. There we go. Are you playing anything else today? Probably not today, Jessica, but... Oh. How are the birds coming along? Hound Dog, you did it again! You're hacking the streams. We did get the birds. Clear notifications. No, the stream. We did get all the birds. We got all the birds in time. But yeah, I probably won't be playing anything else today, but as long as things go well, I'm thinking about playing Haunted Carousel tomorrow. We shall see. Fingers crossed. Okay, Waldo. We just got back to Waldo. So I wonder if I do, like, B, and then maybe O. What about this one? Okay, that one just moves by itself. B-A. L. B-A. So this one moves the last three. This is easier. Sorry, Hound Dog, just missed the birds. Exactly. We just finished up with the birds. It's hilarious. Okay, so if we get this to be an L, and then maybe do this one to get it to A. What am I missing here? That's O. That's AL. That's B. O. I've done this much faster previously. All of my Nancy Drew games are trapped in quarantine halfway across the country, and I have no access to them in this time of great need. That's so sad. That is so unfortunate. Yeah, of any time to have Nancy Drew games, this would be the time. Baldo! We did it. Hello, secret passageway.
It's too dark. I need a flashlight.
I have my flashlight. So this is how we get back out, right? Yes. Okay. So that's on the right-hand side of the tunnel.
Oh, the batteries are going dead. I can't see a thing. I'd better go back.
So then we turn around, go up 2, turn, feel around on the wall. Nancy's not freaking out at this, but I would be freaking out. If my flashlight went down, like, yikes. Why is it that you can always do something no problem, but when you go to show someone you suddenly can't do it? Exactly, Demon Slayer. It's so true. Just like the universe messing with ya. Or maybe it's just the feeling of pressure. I want to show you that I can do it, and now I can't. So, now we need to wait until morning so we can go get some more batteries from M. Uh-oh. The dogs are howling. Oh, that means we must be getting close. Okay, it's morning. There's no dogs howling. Everything is safe for now. Let's go to Emily and get some batteries. I love that too. Like, we don't hear or see anything from the ghost dogs until we start to get close to the speakeasy. Like, that's just such a fun storytelling thing. Coolest secret passageway opening, isn't it? Like, the tombstone just opens up. Nobody would think to look for a secret passageway there. When this whole part got revealed the first time I played it, I, like, died. It's just so impressive.
How you holding up?
Do you know anything about the gold that Mickey Malone supposedly buried somewhere on his property?
All I got to say about it is, if there really was a bunch of gold buried somewhere and nobody ever found it, it's for darn sure nobody ever will. Not with them dogs up there.
I need flashlight batteries. Do you carry them?
Yep. But you know, I've been meaning to make a purty display out of them packs of combo coal over there for the longest time. Just can't seem to get around to it.
In other words, you'd like me to give it a shot.
Here's the way it should look when you're done.
Cool. Can I take it? There we go. I know they are games, but I feel like some of the puzzles Nancy Drew does are so over the top for the technology that would have been available for the time. This is very true. Like, the secret passageways are very advanced. Okay, so upper corner, we need all green on the sides, and this blue one goes over here. Oops, didn't mean to rotate that. Green, green. This one needs to go over here, rotated like that. And then we need green and purple here, kind of like that, I think. And then green and orange here. This green one goes here, and then that green one there. Need these purple ones up here. That yellow one looks right, and then we need double oranges, it looks like. And then 4 blues down yonder. This one needs to rotate. That one looks good. Need these red ones to go here, but rotated. This one needs to rotate. Purple. Yellow rotates. And voila.
Ta-da! One smiling goldfish. It's obviously never tried combo cola.
I love how it says Riley. When I was little, I used to like sprint click home when it was nighttime. Me too! The Nancy Drew games wouldn't be complete if there wasn't at least one secret passage. What secret passage is your favorite, Caitlin? Ooh, that's such a good question. I really love all of the ones in Curse of Blackmore Manor, because those are just so built into the house.
Hey, Nancy. This mean you got them cans stacked?
You bet. They look just like the picture you gave me, which you can have back.
Here's your batteries. And thanks, Nancy.
We can fix our flashlight now. Yeah, the Curse of Blackmore Manor secret passageways are pretty fantastic. Like the one where you can just turn the gargoyle. And then the slide one. The slide one for sure, because that would be so fun to actually have. Like, who was building Miles the Magnificent Machine in 2003? Who? This is a good question. The puzzles in Ransom of the Seven Ships are some of the craziest, and I think they would have been back in the 1600s or something. Yeah, and they had no materials on the island. Like, how are they managing all of these? Yeah, the Ransom of Seven Ships puzzles are a little ridiculous. Soda. Why would you want your soda like that? Yeah, it's a very specific way to organize the soda, and when somebody buys a can, wouldn't they just ruin the entire design? I mean, to each their own, Emily, but it kind of seems counterproductive. More work than is necessary. I would probably just color code them. All right. Is it easier the second time? I feel like I remember it being easier the next time you do it. But maybe I'm just completely wrong in that. B-A... Oh no, it is easier. Or I just did it better. Baldo. His birthday's only 2 days before mine. Flashlight.
It's silly to try to explore this in the dark.
That's why I took out the flashlight, Nancy. This is so cool. Big ol' hole. Good thing we have our flashlight, or we would have fallen right down that. Okay, if we go to the right, we come to a dead end. So we want to go to the left, down this bigger hallway. This is so cool.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. I usually go right, so let's go left, just for funsies. Blue and purple. I love the colors on the wall. Like, is that supposed to be granite or something? Or just some sort of minerals in the rocks? Hey, hey! We made it all the way down. Ready for the big reveal, guys?
So this is the speakeasy. Wow.
This is so cool. I remember seeing it for the first time and being so impressed. And like proud of myself too, because I mean, finding such a cool place in a mystery.
If map is correct, the tree where Vitus would bark at the hawks used to be right about here.
Okay. So now we're using all of these paintings to help us figure things out about the dogs. And notice that Vitus has a blue collar. Dapper Dog Sodas and Spirits. Very cool. And here...
Those must be the spigots William Akers mentioned in his journal.
Exactly.
The spigot won't move.
And they're color-coded,
There
but
must be a way to unlock these spigots.
We need to unlock the spigots. Iggy has the yellow collar, and we already know where Iggy likes to hang out, on the porch. Like a good dog. Okay, over here... Can get another look at the front of the bar area. This, like, dartboard with Mickey Malone's face on it. And the puppies.
He's so cute.
Look at them as puppies. They're so adorable. The speakeasy looks just amazing. So classy. Biggest jump scare I've ever endured was after you ride the secret slide in Blackmore and you get stopped by Ethel. It's so true. I love that one. Afro Gamer Dude. I actually think the scenery graphics in the old games are better. They are much more realistic, and I feel around the Capu Cave game things started moving to a more cartoonish style. I totally agree. Like, the art that went into these places is amazing. So Xander had red. But we can't tell from the picture where Xander would hang out. Okay, so we hit that button. And that unlocks the spigots, I believe. And then I'm stuck here. Why can't I move? Lucy.
So Lucy would swim out to the shipwreck, which is about here.
So that's where Lucy likes to hang out. And she has this green collar. That must be, I wonder if that's Vivian. That could be Vivian. Getaway car vacations. There's like bullets in the wall. See, the detail is just fantastic. Like, somebody crafted and drew this. It's just insane. That piano looks very similar to the one in Message in a Haunted Mansion. And this is how we get out. But before we do that, what do we need? What am I missing? We need to figure out where Xander would hang out. Because that's what we're definitely missing. He would bark at something. Or hang out and play by something. The dogs will lead the way. Sorry about the loud crashing noises in the background. I think my fiance is taking out the recycling. But about as loudly as he can possibly do it. That does seem like it. The characters got better as the games went on, but the scenery just doesn't feel as detailed in the newer games. Yeah, like the development kind of shifted in the things that they used to prioritize, I suppose. All right, I'm gonna look at my notes here. How do we figure out where Xander played? Like, how do we figure that out? I am drawing a blank. Considering when these games were made, they could be put next to some scenes from modern games and stand up well. I agree, they're just works of art. And I just love it. Is it nighttime? No, it is daytime. Why can I not remember where Xander used to hang out? Because we have Lucy, Vitus, and Iggy. But what am I missing? Do you guys know what I'm missing? Like, how do I figure out Xander? We got some, like, intense music going on right now. Didn't he like to play by the pump? But how do I learn that? Do I talk to Vivian? Does Vivian know?
Hello?
Hi, Vivian. It's Nancy Drew.
More questions?
I'm afraid so.
It's Nancy! Eustacia says hi. Go on, dear.
Do you know anything about the dog Malone called Xander?
He barked. They all barked. Bark, 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 bark. All of them except Iggy.
Do you have any idea what Xander was barking at?
I can't remember. Those dogs are just one big noisy blur.
It's been fun talking to you.
I'll be suing you.
Love it. Yeah, so Vivian doesn't know. How do we find out what Xander did? He's not in the journal, is it? We already looked at this. So if it was in the journal,
better be careful.
We would have known. it... Oh, I know. Yeah, there is a mosaic. You're right, Sarah. Yeah, it just came to me. We need to find, in the tunnels. So if we go... I think we can make it the easy way into the speakeasy now. Yes, thankfully. Let's head back into the tunnels. So cute.
It's too dark.
Okay, I have my flashlight. So if we go back into the tunnels, and we went left the first time, so maybe let's go right this time. There's a little jut off on the side. And another corridor on the side. Oh, it's the spigots. We need to figure out the spigots first. I remember getting stuck on the journal because I couldn't back away and I thought I broke the game. Took me a while to realize I had to go back through all the pages. Yeah, that's kind of the clunkiness of the earlier ones for sure. Okay, so we have these. We need to get the colors to line up with the letters of their name. So yellow is Iggy. So if I do it one time, what does that get me? Gets me a V. And if I go again, I get an N. An I. Oh wait, I wanted I. I wanted I. Yellow is I. I'm going to leave it. Vitus is blue. So we need a B. And then I think if I do 1, 2, 3, I think. No, that put me at a Z. V for Vitus. And I passed by it again. V for Vitus. I did not do the spigot thing. I was like trying to jump ahead in my brain to like skip steps just because it's hard when you know what's supposed to come and you're like, wait, how did I get there? Okay, V for Vitus. The red one is for Xander, so we need X. Is it 4 times? 1, 2, 3, 4. Aha! Okay. And then we need the green one to be L for Lucy. So if I do 1. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. And now this should hopefully flip to the L. And it shows us that door opening up. So now, if we take our flashlight and head back into the tunnels, and if we go to the right, we now see this has opened up. So now we can look at each of the mosaics. So we have lovely Iggy. Ugh, notifications! Blast you notifications. Excuse me, sorry, don't mind me. Yeah, sorry, there's a lag. I typed that before you started doing it. Yeah, there is a little bit of a lag in the chat. I'm sorry about that. Will those spigots still work for normal drinks? That is a good question. And then we have to pick the right map, but we have to find Xander's portrait first. That's Lucy. Here you are, Xander.
Xander, played by the pump, which is right here.
Marvelous. Xander played by the pump. And we need the map that shows kind of a flat land. So not that one. I think it's just this one. Okay, so if we start at the 3 rocks, we can go down 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, right 2 and up 1, and then right 2 and up 1 again for this location that each of the dogs would hang out. Here we go. Yes.
That doesn't sound good.
Yeah, we're basically locked in here now, but we found a cool passageway, so it's okay. Imagine being a bartender and accidentally stumbling into opening a passageway, right? That'd be hilarious. Okay. We need a key.
It's some kind of lock.
No way, Nancy.
It's some kind of lock.
It's some kind of lock. Can we just use the Easter egg to open it up?
It's some kind of lock.
No, that's too simple. Okay, well, we need a key. Where is the key? Where would it be? So we've now opened up. One way now we are trapped. This is a dead end. But if we go this way, the way in is trapped, but we've now opened up this new location. This is so cool. That was a very loud door clang, right? Nancy is not exactly being very sneaky right now.
So you're the ghost dogs. You look pretty real to me.
And they look cute. They're adorable. We are getting close to solving this mystery. It's some kind of lock. Like, no way, Nancy. With a keyhole on a door? That's a kind of lock? No way.
These dogs have been trained to act vicious on command.
So when they hear the silent dog whistle, they go bonkers. That's just horrible. Take a drink every time Nancy says it's locked. Exactly. Dento Glow glow-in-the-dark toothpaste. Buff Dog vitamins. The same kind of pizza that we had in Final Scene. My internet's starting to get a little like, oh no. My internet's starting to go out a little bit. Chinese food, same from Message in a Haunted Mansion. Come on, internet, hold in there. We're so close to the end of the game. We have the key. We have these 2 magazines. This one we saw in the last mystery, and I think in the final scene too. Mayan temples used as alien landing pads. The Faniac. Brady Armstrong, look who's back. Despite the Royal Palladium fiasco, Brady Armstrong makes comeback in Destiny Shines Forth.
That's the speaker I saw in the house.
And then this is how their eyes glow, which is impressive. Okay. Now, who would have a journal like this? Rumor going around Lake that Malone House has been sold. Find gold now. Eddie and Cher's stinky breath must brush their teeth. I know, you're skipping at the right at the end, too. I know, I'm hoping it catches itself back up. Okay, so this person has been getting things from the lake, including a key with the initials MM. Like, how lucky is that the culprit found that? Just a few more minutes, internet, exactly. And I'm the only one using it right now. Like, come on, you can do it, game. You can do it, internet. Rumor time. Time for plan D, as in dog. Too cold to drag. Vet lab reports all dogs A++. Buy extra happy hound ham sticks for training. New owner moving in late April. Chuck says MM key special made for Malone in 1931. The gold heist was in 1931. No gold. Tiles on mosaics in tunnel push in and out. Sally McDonald, 27, freelance photographer. Sally McDonald moving in April 15th. Work on mosaics one by one, but nothing happens. Malone and his stupid puzzles can take a flying leap. Dogs ready for haunting. Wish I could sick them on Malone. Sally M. gone. Who is Nancy Drew? Get out nets. Repair boat for some leaks. ND knows about gold. Must find before she does. So, basically everything we need to know that Emily is the culprit. Pretty clearly.
I bet the dogs attacked Sally's house because a high-frequency signal was transmitted to them through the speaker I saw on the roof.
I agree, Ray Marie. Forcing them to attack on command is so mean. The internet knows you're trying to get to the end of the mystery and it's trying to make it more suspenseful, apparently. It's not okay, internet. I pay good money for you. The least you can do is help me stream. Okay. 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go to the lock, Nancy.
It's some kind of lock.
Well, I found some kind of key. Love this. Ah! We drowned! Second chance. Okay, don't open that up. So, we can spin that, but it doesn't appear to be doing much. And if we look at this, we can see that the water level is all the way full.
Something's missing here.
That doesn't seem to do anything, and we're missing the wheel that does. Which I don't think is a coincidence. Oh, look! Okay, we found the wheel we need, so we go put it on the right place.
The wheel is gone.
What's your favorite dog breed? Ooh, good question. I grew up with black labs. I had one when I was really little, and then when she passed away, we had another one. So I'm very partial to black labs, but I also think corgis are so stinking adorable. As if it wasn't suspenseful enough. Exactly, Amanda. It's some kind of lock. Yay, drowning! Awesome. Okay, so the water level is now down, so we should now be safe to open up the well.
I'm this close to finding the gold. I just know it.
Yeah. My favorite villain, Luna, is the one from the final scene. Just because I was so surprised to see them be the villain. But this is actually a pretty close second for me because I also totally didn't see this one coming, and I love the way that we have to get away from this one. It's a lot of fun. So Krollmeister made this, not surprising. And now we need to put the Roman numeral for each dog. So, like, green corresponds to Lucy, which would be 50 in Roman numerals. Red corresponds to Xander. X is 10. Oops. Blue, I remember this puzzle took me forever to figure out when I was a kid. Vitus is 5. Yellow is Iggy, which is 1. This one is supposed to be 10. This one is supposed to be 5. Okay, that one switches just those ones. So maybe if I do 0. This one has to be 10. This one's supposed to be 5. And this one's supposed to be 1. Oh yeah, this was a fun getaway. Yeah, this getaway is amazing. Why am I, like, so stuck on this? This is another perfect example of how when people are watching, it's so much harder. Okay, we need the wheel from upstairs. So up we go.
I'd better make sure this door is closed all the way before I fool around with anything else.
Probably a good idea, Nancy. Okay, so if we, not that wheel, go over and take the wheel and double check to make sure that the water level is still low, which it is. We should be able to open this back up. And descend. Okay, and put the wheel on. Give her a good spin. Enter.
600 pounds of gold bullion. Wow.
Yeah. This is so cool. We found treasure. Uh-oh.
Hey there, Nancy. Why, what on earth have we got here?
Nothing. Nothing. Close the door. Go down. Go through the grate. This is so intense. Was it this way that I go? Oh no, other way. Other way. Okay, we're up. We're up. Okay, I'm gonna close the door on you.
There's plenty of gold here. We can share.
Not when you have a giant bone.
Let me out of here, Nancy.
No, you're gonna clobber me.
Nancy, wait. Let's talk about this. This can just be our little secret. You scratch my back, I scratch yours, remember? Nancy?
The gold's all yours, Em. Enjoy it while you can.
Never!
Dear Ned, as soon as I got out of the tunnels, Emily had left a door open. I called the sheriff. But when I led him back down the well to the room where I'd left Emily, she refused to leave. He and his deputies finally got her out, but one of them said afterward that if he had to choose between getting a bear away from her cub and getting Emily away from that gold, he'd pick the bear. What's worse, by the time they took Emily away, the place was swarming with reporters from all over the country. The commotion has scared away every bird for miles. I'm pretty sure Red Knot would like to strangle me. On the other hand, when Ranger Akers found out that 7 cars and 2 helicopters were illegally parked on park property and that he was going to get to ticket them, he was ecstatic. Tucker Davis finally cleared away that dead tree, which means I'm free to drive home. Moon Lake is beautiful, but I've had enough wildlife for now. Which reminds me, did I mention that those 4 ghost dogs are actually very sweet? They're so sweet, in fact, that Sally is seriously thinking about adopting them. How's that for irony? Ever yours, Nancy. Bess, hi, it's Nancy. I'm at this little amusement park on the coast. I wish I could say I was having a wonderful time, but the fact is, some pretty spooky things have been happening here. There have been some strange accidents, and the carousel, it starts up in the dead of night all by itself, like it's haunted or something. You know me, I don't get scared very easily, but I saw it myself, and I'll call you later. I've gotta go right now.
They make the haunted carousel sound a lot more scary than it actually is. That trailer makes it seem super intense, and it's just not. Which culprit reveal surprised me the most? Final scene, this one. Curse of Blackmore Manor was pretty surprising. What are some others? I loved the reveal on Danger and Deception Island, Secret of Shadow Ranch. Like, basically all of the classic game culprit ones were fantastic. I loved all those. So terrifying. Isn't that ending fantastic? Nancy is in great shape to vault up through those grates. Yeah, she is. Yay! Woohoo! Emily with the bone photo. Isn't she terrifying? I think she's such a fantastic culprit. She's definitely up there in my favorites. Thanks for the live stream. You are so welcome, Luna. Thank you so much for joining. Who got the gold? That is a good question, Demon Slayer. Who did get the gold? Because it doesn't technically belong to anyone because it was stolen from a bank. That is a good question. The dog's got a happy ending. Yes, I love that that Sally actually adopts them. I think that's really cute. That was the best trailer. Isn't it great? Haunted Carousel has a very cool villain. His behavior matches his secret plan. Yeah, I actually really like the villain in Haunted Carousel too. Shattered Medallion shocked me because it made 0 sense. Totally Jessica. Like, I didn't understand that ending whatsoever. It's like, why are you even mad? Like, what are you mad about? Why are you a culprit in the first place? Well, thank you everyone so much for joining this stream. I so loved sharing this gameplay with you. This is such a fun game, and it's always so much more fun to play it with fellow detectives such as you all. Thank you, Maria, for joining. I so appreciate it. I appreciate all of you. Ransom of the Seven Ships villain was surprising, but it didn't make much of an impact on me since I hadn't played Stay Tuned. Yeah, same. That happened to me too. Like, I hadn't played it before that point. Plus, it's so random. You're the best. Oh, Sarah, thank you so much. You're the best. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. Next up will be the Haunted Carousel. Can't wait to see all of you soon. Ooh, most obvious culprit? I would say Alibi and Ashes, Ray Marie. That's the one that I definitely felt was the most obvious, at least. So fun talking Nancy Drew with all of you. So wonderful. Thank you, everyone, for coming. Thank you, Amanda. I will see you all next time. Bye, everyone. Bye.